for your patronage.
Thank you!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mentally Gone Reacts. My name is Callie Lacerda.
And I'm Gabriella Lopes.
And today we will be continuing the Marvel Cinematic Universe
journey
with Captain America, the First Avenger. Obviously, we are leading up to the assembling of the Avengers, right? We've been seeing the origin stories of different heroes so far. We've seen Hulk's origin story, which, by the way, a large part of it takes place in Brazil, and I am Brazilian. Eu sou brasileiro. A lot of people always seem surprised and yo, you're Brazilian. It's I always try to represent and rep the flag wherever I can, here and there. So Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor. Am I missing anything?
No.
So 3 heroes so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the 4th kind of member that we're going to be introduced to, and do you have anything to say before we jump in?
No, I'm ready. I'm excited. Last one was Thor, right?
The last one was Thor, yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that the end credits scene showed anything about this next one. So
the end credit scene of the last one showed Loki in the reflection with Jane, Jane's kind of professor or mentor figure. It was something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And one thing that I will say about Captain America, growing up in Brazil, we study every country essentially, but they really, for whatever reason, focus a lot on North American history as well. And one of the things that history classes they always bring up is the symbolism behind Captain America and what it represented and what the actual kind of figure represented on a propaganda kind of angle, if you will. So I'm going to be also analyzing it from a real grounded perspective, along with the hero and mythological and all of the action and stuff as well, with the Hollywood effects, but trying to also grasp at, the reasoning behind the name and why it's called Captain America, World War II. It's this idea of patriotism and really trying to create this being that everybody, and more specifically most Americans, can kind of hang their perceptions on. And that's what I was taught in history class, essentially, when it comes to North American propaganda. So
and I'm not a history buff.
I'm not a history buff either.
By no means whatsoever.
I failed every class other than philosophy.
I don't even know. Well, I'm not even gonna say, because then that'll be an embarrassing thing to get on video. When the dates of certain large events were. So that's just.
It's not like I know or anything
know.
because.
And we got patriot
yes.
colors because just like you said, we know that it's kind of more patriotism. So we're representing red, white, and blue. And here in the USA, we are recording this on Election Day. I have nothing else to say about it.
November 5th,
Yeah.
Election Day today. Which was all just a big coincidence too, because we've been doing Game of Thrones, and then now there's a little break, and so we're throwing in some Marvel and trying to keep it consistent on a weekly basis at least. And it just coincided with today. It's just a weird coincidence. Yeah. So we're gonna talk with the spirit of just the overwhelming weight with the current elections, and just the world seems like it's on this unstable platform, and at any moment it's gonna just explode and chaos is going to ensue. So why not just watch a movie?
Yeah.
And just
as it's happening right now,
Yeah.
by the way, guys, the results are currently coming in, and we are going to watch a movie.
Yes. It's currently 8:28 p.m. on the East Coast, November 5th, and just documenting in case a civil war breaks out and nuclear bombs or whatever, and then you guys don't see me anymore. It's I was here, Callie was here, okay?
Oh my God,
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Don't say that, please. Where's Captain America to save us?
All right. So with that being said, guys, special thank you to everybody on Patreon, to all the patrons. You get. Oof, I'm rusty today. Sorry, long day. On Patreon, you get the full uncut reaction. You get early access to everything that we react to, and yeah, thank you to everybody who has been supporting us.
And soon, exclusive content. Wink, wink. That's
And
all we'll say.
Wink, wink.
But it'll be exclusively available on the Patreon,
Yes.
not on the YouTube,
Not
on the
on YouTube.
Patreon.
Only Patreon.
And yeah, it'll be our way of giving like an extra little thanks to the patrons because your support is what makes this all happen. And with that being said, we're going to get jammed right into this reaction together. And I'm excited.
All right, let's do it. So I'm going to do a
Guess
5-second countdown so that you can synchronize with your copy on Patreon. You do have to have your own original copy, but we provide the timestamps where you can align your copy with our copy, and we can watch it together almost as if we're in the same living room in the same space. So I'm going to do a 5-second countdown, and I will press play, and we will be getting back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I've been scaring Callie by randomly going after
yes.
our hereditary reaction.
Not fun, especially in dark rooms where I
pretty
can't
fun.
see anything. All I hear is my whole body. I just, goosebumps.
It's like, I'm right here. And then
Yeah.
it's like, where?
So wind, right? Wind is what we hear in the beginning. And we got our blankets. It's getting cold here. Just from this right here, I'm chilling.
Callie has now upgraded to having a blanket.
Yes, I need a blankie. Is this like the North Pole?
Oh my gosh.
Antarctica.
A Russian oil team called it in about 18 hours ago.
How come nobody spotted it before?
This landscape's changing all the time. You got any idea what this thing is exactly?
I don't know.
Is that the sun in the background?
Yeah, I guess.
Guys are gonna need one hell of a crane.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that? It's like an airplane wing.
I was going to say it's a UFO.
Yeah. Airplane, spacecraft. There are a bunch of theories about how, like, in Antarctica, there's, like, a UFO spacecraft arena. I
Like
don't know.
a hub.
Yeah. Like a hub.
I've always thought that those tools were so cool. Those, like, laser ones that you can cut into things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting.
What is this?
Interesting structure design. It kind of looks like a web. This is inside. Damn, it's huge. And it looks pretty intact.
Careful.
I see some seats. So humanoid origin. This kind of feels like a horror movie.
I know. What's going on?
Lieutenant? My God.
What is it?
Give me a line to the colonel. I don't care what time it is.
Oh, it's the iconic shield, right? Yeah.
Damn, though. It really looks like it's pretty much intact.
Yeah. Oh, this is during World War II. Is it World War II or World War I? Oh, this guy looks like the guy from Harry Potter.
Professor Filch.
Filch, right? Is that him?
Yeah.
Professor Filch. And it kind of looks like
Oh, I
Hogwarts.
have to write down.
Oh my god, they're breaking down Hogwarts. If they're gonna build a shopping mall, it's like Hogwarts is gone. Oh no.
Ooh.
That was a great joke, by the way. You could tear down Hogwarts and build a shopping mall.
Sorry, I'm like, there's so much happening. Oh, look at that.
The skull. That's like an octopus.
They're like, excuse me.
Mm.
We're gonna take down this world of wizarding.
Yeah.
Oh.
So are these supposed to be like the Nazis?
Yeah.
Nazi soldiers?
I think that you are a man of great vision. What others see as superstition, you and I know to be a science.
What you seek is just a legend.
Then why make such an effort to conceal it?
That's a pretty interesting statement. What they see as superstition, you and I see as science. Oh my god. It's like an ancient knight. Frozen block of ice.
Tesseract was the jewel of Odin's treasure room.
What?
Oh, they're after the thing that they showed in the post-credit scene, right?
I cannot help you.
But maybe you can help your village. Some little grandchildren. I have no need for them to die.
Oh gosh. Ooh, this one feels so dark.
Is this the Yggdrasil? Yggdrasil?
Yggdrasil.
Yep. Because he said Odin.
The world.
It's the Axis Mundi.
Guardian of wisdom and fate also.
No way. Intuitively, he knew.
He's a snake. What do you expect?
In the eye of the snake. Oh, this one. This one's probably the real deal.
Give the order to open fire.
You cannot control the power you hold. You will burn!
I already have.
Oh, no, Mr. Filch.
What the heck is going on with him? Ooh.
Connell, Michael, Kominsky, Henry.
So he has Squidward. These are Squidward's men.
Kind of makes you think twice about enlisting, huh?
Nope.
Rogers.
Oh my gosh, he's so tiny.
Damn, he looks like a 13-year-old.
He's smaller than me.
How old is he?
What'd your father die of?
Mustard gas. He was in the 107th Infantry.
Mother?
She was a nurse in a TB ward.
Sorry, son.
Look, just give me a chance.
Those are all his
Being eligible
ailments?
on your asthma alone.
Wow, I have asthma.
I'm saving your life.
This is probably like an enlisting for the military
Yeah.
back then.
Every able-bodied young man is lining up to serve his
Able-bodied
country.
young man.
No, and he didn't get chosen.
Even little Timmy is doing his part.
How embarrassing.
You could have joined them.
I know.
Meanwhile, overseas, our brave boys are showing the Axis powers that the price of freedom is never too high.
Hey, just start the cartoon!
Hey, you want to shut up?
Together with Allied forces, we'll face any threat, no matter the size.
Look at how small this kid is. Damn, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Shush. He could take a punch, though.
Don't know when to give up, do you?
He could get punched all day. Oh my goodness. Ooh. This guy's a military man.
Military.
Oh, are they friends?
How many times is this? Oh, you're from Paramus now.
Paramus, New Jersey?
And seriously, Jersey?
Jersey? Paramus, New Jersey.
We're from Jersey.
That's close. Close enough.
Sergeant James Barnes, shipping out for England first thing tomorrow. I should be going.
He really wants to go to war.
My last night.
Interesting.
Gotta get you cleaned up. Why? Where we going? Future.
World Exposition of Tomorrow.
Oh, this is like the one that Tony Stark did.
Oh,
The expos?
Yeah.
The tech expos.
What'd you tell her about? Only the good stuff.
Welcome.
Oh my god, it's starting!
Oh, he has 2 babes with him, and this guy
Yeah.
has none. Oh, Howard Stark, see?
His dad.
Oh,
Wow, he's from his dad's time.
he looks different than the old recording we saw Tony watch. You think it's the same actor?
What if I told you that in just a few short years, your automobile won't even have to touch the ground?
That's what they said. Flying cars, right?
Stark gravitic reversion technology, you'll be able to do just that.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I thought would happen growing up as a kid. I thought flying cars by now.
Yeah. I thought by the time I was 30, there would be flying cars.
But instead, we got TikTok. Doom scrolling.
How do you say we treat these girls?
The world of tomorrow.
Come on, Soldier.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
This isn't a back alley, Steve. It's war. I know it's a war. Why are you so keen to fight? There's so many important jobs. What are you going to do? Collect scrap? Yes. My little red wagon. I'm not going to sit in the factory, Bucky.
Bucky.
I got no right to do any less than them. That's what you don't understand. This isn't about me.
Right. Because you got nothing to prove.
Yes, we are.
Dancing. Oh, dancing was like such a, you know.
Just like we saw in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Where they're like,
Their problem? Just wait here.
Don't do it.
oh.
What?
Because he has too many ailments, right? Oh.
Thank you. You want to go overseas?
Oh, German accent.
Dr. Abraham Erskine. I represent the Strategic Scientific Reserve.
Steve Rogers.
His glasses are like yours. You guys have the same glasses on.
Hey, I'm part German.
Where are you from, Mr. Rogers? New Haven? Or Paramos?
Paramos?
Do you want to kill Nazis?
Is this a test?
Yes.
I don't want to kill anyone.
I can offer you a chance.
I'll take it.
Good. So where is the little guy from? Actually, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
They're both from New York.
Soldier.
Oh, he's approved? Just like that?
Wow. Imagine that.
But what's in it for the other guy? Like, what's the catch? Because he's tried 5 times in different locations and got tested the same ailments and got declined. So it's like there has to be something in it for that guy.
And he's German.
And he's German.
You certain that those conductors of yours can withstand the energy surge long enough for transference?
With this artifact, I am certain of nothing. I fear it may not work at all.
It's kind of like what was in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction, too.
Yeah.
That they never show.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So how did it leave Odin's trophy room?
I think I saw that the location that they were in was where at the beginning of Thor, the frost giants and Odin were fighting on Earth.
Oh, that's why it's like cold and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the snow. I'll say it after.
Yeah, we'll like talk about it.
Ooh.
Oh, I fried the systems. All systems are fried.
The exchange is stable. Amazing. The energy we have just collected, it could power my designs. All my designs. This will change the war.
What? Power's design.
Thought I was signing up for the U.S. Army.
What's your name, soldier?
Gilmore Hodge, Your Majesty.
Step forward, Hodge.
Your Majesty.
Put your right foot forward.
You get a wrestle? Because I got a few moves I know you'll like.
Damn.
Get your ass up out of that dirt and stand in that line at attention until somebody comes and tells you what to do.
Yes, sir.
Comes and tells you what to do.
Look at him now. He's like, yes, sir.
Our goal is to create the best army in history. But every army starts with one man.
Rogers! Get off of there!
At the end of this week, we will choose that man. He will be the first in a new breed of super soldiers.
Super soldiers. Yo, that's crazy. Damn. Oh, you can't move.
Will personally escort Adolf Hitler to the gates of hell.
Sheesh.
Damn.
Sheesh.
Okay.
I don't care what I've been told.
I don't care what I've been told.
Running in circles, my goal.
Running in circles, my goal.
First man to bring it to me gets a ride back with Agent Carter. Come on, get up there.
Did you ever have to climb rope?
No.
Me neither.
That's like a high school stereotype in TV shows.
Yeah.
I think my parents would do stuff like that, though, when they were in high school.
It's more of an old school thing.
Rogers! I said fall in!
He used his brain. Everybody else used that. Everybody else, like, nobody thought about that. Wow.
Damn. Don't mind if I catch this ride. Boys.
And it's a promise too. Like he promised them a ride back.
And with the pretty lady.
I am looking for qualities beyond the physical.
Hodge passed every test we gave him. He's big, he's fast, he obeys orders, he's a soldier.
He's a bully.
He's a bully. Use a bully to fight bullies.
War guts.
Oh, that's a live grenade. Oh, that's a live grenade. That's a live grenade. Oh my god, 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 oh my god.
No!
Holy
Oh my
shit.
gosh!
Holy shit.
Wow.
He was the only one. Wow. Everybody else hiding behind cars.
Wow.
That was a test. Is this a test? I was about to say that was a test.
Oh my gosh.
Willing to blow himself up to protect everybody else.
See?
He says, you will make us strong. I am not interested. So he sends the head of Hydra, his research division, brilliant scientist by the name of Johann Schmidt. Now, Schmidt is a member of the inner circle, and he is ambitious. Hitler uses his fantasies to inspire his followers. For Schmidt, it is not fantasy. He has become convinced that there is a great power hidden in the earth, left here by the gods, waiting to be seized by a superior man.
Wow.
When he hears about my formula and what it can do, he cannot resist. Schmidt must become that superior man.
Wow.
Did it make him stronger?
Yeah, but there were other effects.
Oh, there are side effects? Of course, right? You gotta take the good with the bad.
The serum amplifies everything that is inside, so good becomes great.
Huh.
Bad becomes worse.
Serum that he injected in his arm.
Great, so...
Because a strong man who has known power all his life, he loses respect for that power. But a weak man knows the value of strength.
I think.
Whatever happens tomorrow, you must promise me one thing, that you will stay who you are. Not a perfect soldier, a good man.
Wow. Huh.
To the little guys.
To the little guys.
Hey, I'm a little guy.
You're a little guy.
Procedure tomorrow. No fluids.
All right, we'll drink it after.
No, I don't have procedure tomorrow. Drink it after, drink it now.
Drink it after, drink it now.
I'm 4'10".
You're a little girl.
I'm a little guy.
You're a little guy. She's a little guy.
My dad was born in Cuxhaven.
Cuxhaven,
Germany.
Cuxhaven. Oh, because he's probably on the run.
I just don't see why you need concern yourself. I can't imagine he'll succeed.
Serum is the Allies' only defense against this power we now possess. If we take it away from them, then our victory is assured.
Shall I give the order?
It has been given.
Okay, so they have to destroy the serum because they want to make sure that nobody can oppose the power that they have. Okay.
It's a war, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This is what ensues. I would like to see.
The artist looks like he's about to throw up.
You stand up, you push back. Can't say no forever, right?
I know little of what that's like, to have every door shut in your face.
As a woman, right?
I guess I just don't know why you'd want to join the army if you were a beautiful dame. Or a woman. An agent, not a dame. You are beautiful.
You have no idea how to talk to a woman, do you?
I think this is the longest conversation I've had with you.
You must have danced.
Well, asking a woman to dance always seems so terrifying. And the past few years just didn't seem to matter that much.
He looks like a little kid. It's so weird.
For what?
Right partner.
It's like her little brother.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's so small.
These old cars, man, they look beautiful to me.
Yeah, I love these.
There's an elegance to it. Like when we were watching The Godfather, it's the same era, I think. Well, it's earlier, but...
I love the way they dress, too.
Mm-hmm. Everybody dressed with class, with elegance. Nowadays, people wear sweatpants everywhere. And by people, I mean me.
Wonderful weather this morning, isn't it?
Yes, but I always carry an umbrella.
They're speaking in code.
Yeah.
Especially in times of war, right? There's a lot of secrecy.
Wow, so she says that to all of her customers?
Yeah. Quite the weather we're having. Oh. Ooh, Ooh, a secret scientific testing base, of course.
Good morning. Please.
Paparazzi.
Are you ready?
He has to go in that thing?
Take off your shirt, your tie, and your hat.
Those hats are so funny.
Why exactly am I in Brooklyn?
We needed access to the city's power grid. Of course, if you'd have given me the generators I requisitioned.
A lot of people asking for funds, Colonel.
If this project of yours comes through, we'd like to see it used for something other than headlines.
Somebody get that kid a sandwich.
I feel so bad. Everyone just makes fun of him, but it is funny too.
And did they say his name, his age?
I don't know. I didn't write it down.
Mr. Stark, how are your levels?
Levels at 100%. We may dim half the lights in Brooklyn, but we are ready.
Oh, because it takes a lot of energy.
Wow.
Don't you think you would be more comfortable in the booth?
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
Oh, she's grown attached to him. She's like worried.
Today, we take not another step towards annihilation, but the first step on the path to peace.
On the path to peace.
Small step for man, giant leap for mankind.
And then, to stimulate growth, the subject will be saturated with vital rays.
Oh, the needle's gonna go through his arm, like the guy said. Damn, that's a big needle.
Serum infusion, beginning in 5, 4.
Oh, those are all needles. Into all his major muscle groups. All of them.
God.
Oh my God, this is like this is steroids on steroids. Holy I don't like needles.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow, it's like a pod.
Yeah, he's getting incubated.
Stephen?
Steven.
You hear me?
Steven.
Probably too late to go to the bathroom, right?
That would be you.
Yeah. Oh no.
Steven Rogers.
Vital signs are normal. That's 50%. 70.
Wow.
Ooh, man.
Oh, wow.
90. That's 100%.
It's so bright that they have to wear sunglasses. He's
I feel like it's gonna blow.
He's shining like the sun. They didn't say if it was dangerous or not. If it's deadly. Like, they didn't really, like, explain. Damn. My boy Jack City, son.
Damn.
Holy moly, the steroids worked.
He's never gonna have to
Hey,
go to
where
the
can I get a pod like that? Put me in, coach. I need that. I need to get that. I need to get some needles in it.
Damn, compared to before, he was like shorter.
Hey, look, a butterfly over there, babe.
Oh.
Oh, look, a butterfly over there. Wow.
Where? Where? Over there?
No, over there. Look, over there.
Over here?
That's crazy, though.
You look taller. That's what I said too.
I can think of some folks in Berlin who are about to get very nervous.
Look at all these old suits salivating over the potential profits of war. Oh. Oh.
What's going on?
Oh.
Oh, he's a.
Oh. Damn. One guy, really? He's like, this shirt is too tight.
Oh no.
That's crazy. The old lady has like a Thompson from Call of Duty World at War.
He just killed her.
I know.
Damn, this feels like an old movie.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, the Tommy speaks.
Damn.
Speaks different languages.
Shoot the tires.
So explosions as diversions.
Ooh, you saw that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Just precision shot his head.
I know. That's why she wears the big pants.
Damn.
Oh, barefoot. He's barefoot, right? Oh. Damn, he's keeping up with the car? Barefoot. He's not like used to the bigger body. That's so funny.
He's like a deer learning how to walk.
Damn, he leaped. Oh my god, he leaped over the fence.
Just stepped all over glass and didn't even flinch.
Imagine if that was the same alleyway that he would get beat up in, and he just like jumped the fence now.
Yeah.
Sheesh. He's subway surfing himself.
Woo!
Whoa. Wow. Meanwhile, all these
that guy's a Nazi.
Oh.
Go. What were you saying?
Meanwhile, all these cars are going like 30 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Ooh.
No airbags back then, I don't think. So that's probably foreshadowing the shield. Interesting how he used an inanimate object as a shield, and this guy's using a little boy as a shield.
No, don't!
Wow, what a coward. Another diversion to buy himself time.
What? This looks insane. Come on.
There's no way he's gonna keep up with the submarine, right? Does he have like super swim too?
Oh my gosh.
Damn, he caught up with the submarine. Wow.
Oh. Imagine the amount of strength you have to fight against the pressure of water.
To punch a submarine underwater? Yeah.
Who the hell are you? The first of many. Cut off one head, two more shall take its place. Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra. That's interesting because it's based on a real mythological monster called Hydra, which that exact thing he said happens in the mythological tale. Hercules versus Hydra. You cut one head off of the serpent and two more appear.
Wow. So that's why he knew about the snake.
Yeah.
Your Hydra division has failed to deliver so much as a rifle in over a year. You had mounted a full-scale incursion into Norway.
The Red Skull has been indulged long enough.
Red Skull has been indulged.
Yeah, seems like that's their
Code name?
their sigil.
Oh yeah, the red octopus thing.
Hitler speaks of a 1,000-year Reich, but he cannot feed his armies for a month. His troops spill their blood across every field in Europe. Still, he is no closer to achieving his goals.
Super villain. Super gun.
Hydra is assembling an arsenal to destroy my enemies in one stroke, wherever they are, regardless of how many forces they possess, all in a matter of hours.
Your enemies?
My weapons contain enough destructive power to decimate every hostile capital on Earth.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of information.
I have harnessed the power of the gods.
Harness the powers of the gods. Okay.
You will be punished for your intellect. You will be brought before the Führer himself.
Oh, vaporized.
Woo! Oh my gosh.
Where do they go? Do they just become nothing?
Decimated. Just that's what it seems like.
Once knew Hydra could grow no further in Hitler's shadow.
Hail Hydra!
Hail Hydra!
So he's gonna obfuscate Hitler now. He's gonna just take the lead.
Now all of the girls are looking at him.
Yeah, all the nurses are interested.
But without Dr. Erskine, it would take years.
He deserved more than this.
If it could work only once, he'd be proud it was you.
Oh, they can't replicate the results.
Hydra is the Nazi Deep Science Division. It's led by Johann Schmidt, but he has much bigger ambitions.
Hydra's practically a cult. They worship Schmidt. They think he's invincible.
If you're going after Schmidt, I want in.
You're an experiment. You're going to Alamogordo.
The serum worked.
I asked for an army, and all I got was you. We're not enough.
Huh. What the heck? Wait, but they didn't even put him to the test.
You want to serve your country on the most important battlefield of the war. Then congratulations. You just got promoted.
What?
But who is this guy?
I don't know if I can do this.
Sell a few bonds, bonds buy bullets, bullets kill Nazis. Bing, bang, boom.
You're an American hero.
Sell a few bonds.
The senator's got a lot of pull up on the hill. You play ball with us, you'll be leading your own platoon in no time.
Oh, he's putting on the costume.
Oh,
His superhero costume. Oh.
oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's reading off of cue cards.
Each one you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun.
Oh no. He's been bought. Oh,
Oh no, he's just a caricature now.
he's becoming the new Uncle Sam. Because it showed Uncle Sam earlier. He's just a vehicle of propaganda now. Look, ancient Egypt in the background, you saw? Ancient Egyptian statues.
Each one you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun.
I like how honest they are with the reason why this character was created. Because the real world application was the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't do that without bullets and bandages, tanks and tents. So that's where you come in. Every ball you buy will help protect someone.
Oh, they made a caricature of the bad guy.
He's behind you.
I wonder who that is with the mustache, huh? Teaching the kids, priming them. Look at that. Milwaukee, different states. He's doing a world tour. See? Wow.
Oh my gosh, what?
That's so meta. He's kind of enjoying it. He's a movie star. Wow, look at the...
But this isn't anything about, like, directly with war. They're like the Rockettes.
Yeah. America loves her propaganda, huh?
Woo! Kidding.
I need a volunteer.
I already volunteered. How do you think I got it? Bring back the girls!
Bring back the girls. They're like deprived of any women.
Nice boots, Tinkerbell.
Oh, now they're mocking him.
We're all on the same team here.
Hey, Captain, sign this!
Is that a full moon?
Ooh.
Yo, tomatoes. They actually threw tomatoes back then, huh?
Is it because they rot easily?
I guess, yeah.
Look, now the girls are out.
They gotta... A lot of low shots with these girls in skirts, huh? It's like, that's also deliberate.
That was quite a performance.
I had to improvise a little bit. Crowds I'm used to are usually more,
detached.
At least he's got me doing this. Phillips would have had me stuck in a lab.
And these are your only two options, a lab rat or a dancing monkey.
Wow.
Huh.
You were meant for more than this, you know.
Yeah, he's meant to be out, you know, taking some real action.
Using his powers, right?
Yeah.
You know, for the longest time, I dreamed about coming overseas and being on the front lines, serving my country. Finally got everything I wanted, and I'm wearing tights.
Mm.
Ooh.
Schmidt sent out a force to Azana. 200 men went up against him, and less than 50 returned. Your audience contained what was left of the 107th. The rest were killed or captured.
The 107th?
What?
Who did he say was in the 107th?
His dad.
His dad.
I need the casualty list from Azano. I just need one name, Sergeant James Barnes from the 107th.
You and I are going to have a conversation later that you won't enjoy.
Please tell me if he's alive, sir. B-A-R.
Oh, his friend.
Oh, Bucky.
I have signed more of these condolence letters today than I would care to count.
Wow, and they send out condolences
The name
letters
does
to
sound
the
familiar.
families. Name sounds familiar. Oh my god.
What?
But if you know where they are, why not at
They're
least
30 miles behind the lines, through some of the most heavily fortified territory in Europe. We'd lose more men than we'd save. But I don't expect you to understand that because you're a chorus girl.
Wow.
I think I understand just fine.
If I read the posters correctly, you've got someplace to be in 30 minutes.
Wow, they just treat him as if he's just a
performer.
Performer, yeah, chorus girl.
If you have something to say, right now is the perfect time to keep it to yourself.
He left. just letting you know.
You heard the Colonel. Your friend is most likely dead. Oh, he's devising a strategy. If he detects
By the time he's done that, it could be too late.
This is pretty exciting. It's high octane.
You told me you thought I was meant for more than this. Did you mean that?
Every word.
Okay, so she believes in him.
I can do more than that.
Where's my helmet?
see Roger.
Ooh, Stark Industries.
Wow.
Agent Carter, if we're not in too much of a hurry, I thought we could stop off in Lucerne for a late-night fondue.
How random. The heck?
Stark is the best civilian pilot I've ever seen. He's mad enough to brave this airspace. We're lucky to have him.
So are you two? Do you?
You two together.
Oh no.
Fondue.
Oh gosh, no.
Are you sure this thing works?
Tested more than you, pal.
Oh! He's a womanizer like his son, Tony Stark.
Yeah, she's the first girl that he's ever talked to, so
I know.
you already know that he's romanticizing a little.
It's kind of like a school crush.
I'm a captain!
I'm a captain.
Huh. Woo!
No parachute? I didn't see a oh, okay. I was like, damn, is he really that strong? He could just fall on the ground?
As you can see, production of the Valkyrie is progressing on schedule,
Wow.
even with components of this size.
Schedule.
Production of the Valkyrie.
See to it our other facilities do the same.
That's from Norse mythology.
These prisoners, I'm not sure they have the strength.
Then use up what strength they have left, Doctor. There are always more workers.
Not now.
The Germans are ruthless. Like, they really, like, when they have an idea, they execute on it. It's like, you gotta give them that, at least.
You know that their national anthem literally translates to Germany above all.
Mm-hmm. What a surprise.
One of these days, I'm gonna have a stick of my own.
Oh, are those the captured,
Soldiers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what clicked in me. Because I was thinking, like, are these Jewish people? But I think they're the captured soldiers. They look American.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about joining the bandwagon. Damn, he really is good. All of a sudden, he's, like, proficient in martial arts.
Yeah, the guy said it would amplify
Everything.
How much was he hiding underneath those little bones?
Sleeper build. Definition of sleeper build right here. Don't sleep on him. 6 tentacles. How many tentacles does Squidward have? 6, right? Or 4? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Ooh. Yo, getting any body part caught up in the corners like that. Oh man, I have some traumatic experiences. With like hands, car doors slamming on the hand and stuff.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Don't even mention that because I do too.
So it seems like they've managed to replicate a stable version of the Tesseract, and they're weaponizing it into smaller objects, smaller weapons. Because even these soldiers, they have weapons that glow like the Tesseract, so I'm curious to know. Wow, they're keeping them in, like, bird cages. Woo! Get the weapon, get the weapon.
Oh!
Who are you supposed to be?
Captain America.
First time the title was used.
Captain America. They're probably like, what?
The tree line is northwest, 80 yards past the gate. Get out fast and give him hell. I'll meet you guys in the clearing with anybody else I find.
Wait, you know what you're doing?
I've knocked that Adolf Hitler over 200 times.
Oh, in his play. They're like, wait, what? Okay, they can fight. America! America!
Show me how it's done. Oh, I mean, he did say that a lot of them would probably die.
You know what these weapons remind me of? They remind me of Power Rangers.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, that kind of sounded like the Iron Man.
Oh, do you think that they also have like the Stark blueprints?
Maybe that's how they've been able to harmonize the substance. Stabilize it. I don't know.
I didn't know you spoke German.
3 semesters at Howard. Switch to French. Girls much cuter.
Didn't ask for the resume.
It's always about girls.
He switched to French, he said?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't dig German, I don't think.
He said he switched to French because the girls were much cuter.
Yeah.
Oh.
This guy's scary looking.
Yeah, his eyes are throwing me off a little bit. They're just like jet black, like a demon.
Our forces are outmatched.
Oh, they know. I think they know he's the one.
Yeah. This place is inside of a mountain, they said?
Probably.
This really reminds me of Power Rangers. It's funny. Okay, that's the original cube. Oh,
Go,
it's
go,
ticking
Power
down.
Rangers.
Dun, 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 dun. Go, go, Power Rangers.
Rangers together.
Rangers.
Samurai forever. Don't ask how I know the lyrics.
There were so many different ones. I don't even remember. My favorite Power Rangers was the one in space, when they were deep in space. Early 2000s.
I remember the samurai one.
There was like a Red Ranger with like long blonde hair, like this dude with blonde hair.
Oh shoot!
Oh, he's alive. So why would the guy lie to him?
Steve, come on, Steve.
Oh, he doesn't remember.
He doesn't recognize him.
I thought you were dead.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were smaller.
He's bigger than his friend now.
It's like, you sure that's you?
Like, dude, you've been eating sandwiches?
Come on.
I like how back in the day everything was about like eating sandwiches.
Yeah, because it's when they revolutionized it, right?
Yeah, it's the most perfect lunch, protein, carbs, everything packed in.
I can attest to liking sandwiches and eating sandwiches, so...
She makes the best egg sandwiches.
Hey, how
Best.
about yours?
Damn, look.
Oh no.
So he's clearing up the evidence. Okay. He has 3 stars on his thing.
I am a great fan of your films.
How meta.
Not exactly an improvement, but still impressive.
Woo! Oof. What happened to his eye?
Gosh.
Oh, he's strong too. Damn, he bent the
what's going on
why
with
is his
his
skin
eye?
falling? Oh, it's like bloodshot underneath it.
It's the super strength.
You see, I was his greatest success.
Oh, it's a mask.
You don't have one of those, do you?
You are deluded, Captain. You pretend to be a simple soldier, but in reality,
Oh, his
you're just
face.
afraid to admit that we have left humanity behind.
What the heck?
This is Voldemort's cousin.
I embrace it proudly. How come you're running?
Wow, it's so skeletal. It's so...
And it's their sigil. It is he's the Red Skull.
He's literally embodied the sigil. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's Voldemort's cousin, for sure.
His cousin.
It's his cousin. From back in the day.
Huh.
No, he gets his car. Okay, he gets the hot rod.
Woo!
Yo, these cars were huge back then, man.
And look at all these what would you call these
Like technological
yeah.
kind of things. Yeah, look at that. It's like a helicopter, primitive helicopter in the form of a rocket. The heck?
Is he doing okay?
Yeah, he seems like he's going through it right now.
I wonder if they did anything to him.
Don't look down, buddy. Don't look. Ooh, don't look down. Don't look down. The key is to never look down. As somebody who's horrified by heights.
Gotta be a rope or something. Just go. No, without you.
Ooh, he's like bending metal.
He's gonna jump? Well, like he has the Hulk ability too?
What?
He could just leap? Oh, that's crazy, bro.
No.
Nah. And then Captain America died.
Yeah. Fell into the doom of fire.
Look, he went missing.
I don't regret my actions, and I don't think Captain Rogers did either.
What makes you think I give a damn about your opinions? Took a chance with you, Agent Carter, and now America's golden boy and a lot of other good men are dead.
I had faith.
Well, I hope that's a big comfort to you when they shut this division.
She had faith and not a crush. Interesting.
What the hell's going on out there?
Yeah, it seems like she just really genuinely liked him as a person, you know?
Yeah, she was falling for the transformation.
Oh.
Oh. Killed in action. Do you know who you're talking to? This is Captain America.
He
reported for duty.
He rescued all of them.
And they brought back alien technology.
Wow. This is your captain speaking.
The lead dancing lady saves the army. Look at her walk. She's proud. She's brave.
They're not going to put him in tights anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, now what? That's what I thought.
Oh, now everybody wants to be his friend.
Especially
I
this
remembered
bully.
you.
Yeah. I keep a list, just like Ryan from The Office. I keep a list.
Yeah.
I keep a notebook.
Ready?
Some of these men need medical attention. I'd like to surrender myself for disciplinary action.
That won't be necessary. Faith, huh?
Faith, huh? He's like, I see what you see in him. I get it.
You're late.
Couldn't call my ride.
These are so corny and
I
cheesy.
know.
But they're like... It's like heartful though, like it's heartfelt. I could vibe with it.
It feels like you're in like a different time era a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
With the way that they speak.
I am honored to present this medal for valor to my personal friend, Captain America.
Captain America is being honored
Captain, that's your cue.
as an American hero. Stanley.
He'd be taller.
I thought he'd be taller. He thought the old guy was Captain America.
He doesn't go up to receive
His public adoration.
In Poland, in the Baltic, and the sixth one was about here, 30, 40 miles west of the Maginot Line. I just got a quick look.
Look at the way she looks at him.
These are the weapon factories we know
I
about.
feel the tension.
Sergeant Barnes said that Hydra shipped
I
all the
feel
parts
it.
to another facility that isn't on this map.
Agent Carter, coordinate with MI6. I want every Allied eyeball looking for that main Hydra base. We are going to set a fire under Johann Schmidt's ass.
Johann Schmidt.
It's your map. You think you can wipe Hydra off of it?
I'll need a team.
We're already putting together the best men.
With all due respect, sir, so am I.
Oh, he has like a covert group.
You barely got out of there alive and you want us to go back?
Pretty much.
Sounds rather fun, actually.
Moi, je combattrai jusqu'à ce que le dernier de ces bâtards soit mort, enchaîné, ou bien pleure comme un petit bébé. J'espère tous les trois.
Oh! Look at them speaking French.
A very diverse group.
So you gotta do one thing for me. Open a tab.
And then cover the tab.
Yeah, and then make sure you pay it.
You ready to follow Captain America into the jaws of death?
Fellow guy from Brooklyn who was too dumb not to run away from a fight. Following him.
Wow.
But what was he going through that he was strapped into a thing?
I don't know. Maybe they were torturing him for information.
Yeah. Tour canceled. Oh, the lady in the red dress. Lady in red.
Carter.
Wow.
I see your top squad is prepping for duty.
You don't like music?
I do, actually.
She doesn't even look at the guy.
All over.
That
Go
is
dancing.
Wow.
Then what are we waiting for?
The right partner.
Wow. She didn't even look at his friend Bucky.
Mm-mm.
And to you, this is like a horrible dream.
I'm invisible.
Don't take it so hard. Maybe she's got a friend.
Oh.
Oh, how the turntables
And
turn.
now the friend would want him too.
Yeah.
Listen, if she doesn't want Mr. Stark, she's not gonna want, you know.
Bucky,
Yeah.
Ooh. Damn, Tony Stark's dad was really involved.
He's like
Excuse
right
me.
down.
I'm looking for Mr.
Very
Stark.
traditional.
He's in with Colonel Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
Read about what you did.
Oh, just doing what needed to be done.
Sounded like more than that. You saved nearly 400 men.
Okay.
Really, it's not a big deal.
Tell that to their wives.
Oh.
I don't think they were all married.
You're a hero.
Well, that depends on the definition.
The
really.
women of America.
He's getting so nervous.
They owe you for your service, the women of America.
Here.
Oh no. Oh. She was waiting for the right partner.
We're ready for you, if you're not otherwise occupied.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Looks like finding a partner wasn't that hard after all. You always wanted to be a soldier, and now you are, just like all the rest.
But what about you and Stark? How do I know you two haven't been fonduing?
Fonduing.
Carbon polymer should withstand your average German bayonet. I'm just not going to attack you with a pocket knife. I hear you're kind of attached.
It's handier than you might think.
I took the liberty of coming up with some options. This one's fun.
Oof.
She's been fitted with electrical relays that allow you to...
What about this one?
No, that's just a prototype.
What's it made of?
Vibranium.
Vibranium.
Stronger than steel and a third the weight. It's completely vibration absorbent.
Wow.
That's the rarest metal on Earth. What you're holding there, that's all we've got.
That's what Iron Man makes his suits out of.
I was gonna ask if that's the same material, vibranium, because I've heard that before. Oh, she's taking out her anger.
Yes, I think it works.
Of course she's angry.
And that was for the kiss.
His first interaction with a girl, and...
Whatever you want, pal.
And that was a warning shot. But see, men like women like that who are like assertive and who like know exactly, like speaks her mind. And there's a thing that they all kind of like, whoa, you know, like especially back then, like women weren't known for that in their role, in their typical role. Damn, this really plays like an action movie. Oh shoot.
It does, especially the shots. It's like the you know, the angles.
Yeah, and there's a time lapse of progression. It doesn't really tell you how much time has passed. He's gaining experience, solidifying himself as a hero. Look, they're beyond the wall. They're beyond the north wall. Wow.
Wow, look. He could like retrieve his shield.
Yeah, kind of like Thor and his hammer. A lot of parallels. It's like a boomerang. Oh! Wow, that's risky. And they didn't see that at all? Oh, wow.
Wow, it wouldn't have mattered if they saw it.
Wow. That guy's mustache is really cool. I'm going to make my mustache like that. All the way down here.
Aw, look.
He did it for the camera. He's like, make sure my girl knows. But I'm always thinking about her, even when I'm almost dying.
Hey, I have look.
That's me on there.
Hey, make sure they know.
Hey. Damn, look how big that tank is.
Woo!
Did those actually exist? That big? Oh my
God.
Oh
and how did that happen to him?
The serum.
Because you cannot outwit a simpleton
I
with a
know, but I
shield.
mean like specifically that look.
I know.
Finish your mission, Doctor, before the American finishes his.
I wonder if it's CGI or if it's prosthetics.
We fought to the last man.
Evidently not.
Did you see them?
Yeah.
It's Iron Man.
Hey, guy, did anyone ever tell you red is your color?
Hey, man. That's
Oh,
your
look.
eyes.
Remember when I made you ride the Cyclone at Coney Island?
Interference.
Yeah, and I threw up.
You ever been to
Dr.
Coney
Zola's
Island?
on the train.
Bing bong.
Hydra
Have
dispatcher
you
gave him
ever
permission
been?
to open up the throttle.
No, bing bong.
I know, but you see these dogs in your front
Yeah.
yard? But I'm asking, have you ever been?
No, I've never been, no.
Oh.
Let's get going because they're moving like the devil. We only got about a 10-second window. You missed that window. We're bugs on a windshield. Mind the gap.
Better get moving, Bugs.
Oh, this looks fun. I like how they portray war as being kind of fun. In the icy winter, too, like slippery.
Yeah. Cold.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a trap. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, oh.
Oh no.
Stop him. Again.
Oh, that thing is the disseminator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Can his shield withstand it? Oh, apparently it can. Didn't even stand a chance. Oh, he's out. He's out. You gotta open the latch. Open the door.
Woo!
Nice teamwork.
I had him on the ropes.
I know you did.
Precision.
Oh, he's back up. He's back up. Oh my goodness. Oh. Sheesh.
Oh no.
Oh, the Hogwarts Express.
Help. Oh no, come on.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What?
Just like that? I didn't see him fall into the water, and there's not that much water to fall into. Oh, shoot.
Why?
A lot of heights, right? Like height stuff with him. Interesting. With his friend, it was the heights when he was crossing, and then now when he fell. Damn, that was quick. He's already captured the mad scientist. That sucks.
Damn.
That looks great.
That's a great meal.
What is in it?
Cow.
What is in it?
What's in it, cow?
Dr. Zola is being remanded to Switzerland?
I sent that message to Washington this morning. Of course, it was encoded. You guys haven't broken those codes, have you?
Schmidt will know this is a lie.
It's going to kill you anyway, Doc. You're a liability.
Look at his lips trembling.
The last guy you cost us was Captain Rogers, his closest friend, so I wouldn't.
Ooh.
It's you or Schmidt. It's just the hand you've been dealt.
You gotta make a deal. Deal with the devil.
Sanity of the plan is of no consequence.
And why is that?
Because he can do it.
What's his target?
Target is everywhere.
It's targeted to everywhere.
I mean, he said that he wanted to possess all the power of the world, right?
I just wonder for what means. Like, what are his motivations? Power for the sake of power?
Hydra will stand master of the world, born to victory on the wings of the Valkyrie. Our enemies' weapons will be powerless against us. If they shoot down one plane, hundreds more will rain fire upon them.
Oh, I see the analogy here.
They cut off one head, more shall take its place.
You were saying that.
Yeah, they said it before. I don't know if you caught the first time.
There's like so much information I did, but I already forgot.
But that's kind of like the whole motif, and it's interesting how it's applied to war. So if they destroy one enemy vehicle, then 100 more or 2 more will pop up.
Wow.
So it's the, it's the ageless mythology applied to modern times. It's kind of like Thor in the last movie.
Yeah.
Dr. Erskine said that this serum wouldn't just affect my muscles, it would affect my cells. Protective system of regeneration and healing, which means I can't get drunk.
Wow, that's a superpower.
Did you believe in your friend? Then stop blaming yourself. Allow Barnes the dignity of his choice. He damn well must have thought you were worth it.
I'm going after Schmidt. I'm not going to stop till all of Hydra is dead or captured.
For his friend and his friend's
Yeah.
honor.
First Avenger.
According to my new best friend, under 24 hours.
Where is he now?
Hydra's last base is here, in the Alps, 500 feet below the surface.
Oof, in the Alps. Wow, in the mountains. That's the final place.
It's not like we can just knock on the front door.
Why not? That's exactly what we're going to do.
I mean, the most obvious choice is always going to be the least expected in times of war, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are these these are bad guys. So now he's creating a diversion. So he's using their tactics. Ooh.
Woo!
Damn. Sheesh. He ate some Mexican.
Some Taco Bell.
Some Taco Bell. Yeah.
Fire sauce.
Taco Bell button. Hit the Taco Bell button. America. America.
America runs on Taco Bell.
I can't get over the sounds. Man, it reminds me so much of Iron Man. Sheesh, this little motorcycle has power, huh? It must be so fun being an actor and just doing these action sequences. Obviously, there's like stunt doubles, but a lot of these actors do a lot of their sequences nowadays.
That's probably their favorite parts to do, right?
I know.
It's the action sequences and the highly emotional parts.
Yeah, like they work out for months just to do a few minutes of a scene. It's crazy.
Damn!
Ooh, just like Tony Stark in the cave. Look, it's very similar technology.
I'm telling you, they probably have a hold of the blueprints.
Oof, they have them cornered. Yeah, they're very similar. Like, there's echoes of Stark Industries technology here.
He resented my genius and tried to deny me what was rightfully mine, but he gave you everything. What made you so special?
I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
Never forget your origins, where you come from.
I can do this all day. Of course you can, of course. But unfortunately, I am on a tight schedule.
Schedule.
Yeah, why do they say it like that? It's the second time, right?
Did you know that that's how they say it in the UK?
Could you say it again?
Schedule.
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 Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No way. Schedule. I cannot live in London or the UK.
Schedule.
Schedule. I cannot say that. Okay, he brought reinforcements. This kind of reminds me of Call of Duty.
Go, 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 Callister.
I got this. Oh man, 5 kill streak.
Enemy UAV inbound.
Enemy UAV inbound.
Oof.
It seems like they're fighting from different planets. It seems like these are aliens.
Yeah, and look, they're literally like
it seems like they come from the future.
Oh my gosh.
And they're vaporizing the soldiers. I wonder where they go or what happens to them.
It'd be interesting if they're not dying.
Yeah, like they're just being sent back home. And they just wake up in their bed.
Let's go find 2 more.
Oh. That was his big moment. His big superhero moment.
Let's go find.
Oh, kept it open. Nice.
You're late.
Weren't you about to...
Right.
They still haven't shared their moment.
I know.
Ooh.
New York City. I think that this one has the best action sequences so far.
Yeah.
In terms of hand-to-hand combat.
And the most kind of like moving shots too.
Yes, a lot of movement, a lot of transitions, jumping on trains, cars, airplanes.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Oh, this is the second superhero scene. The old man, he's like...
This is like the Batman right here.
Yeah, it does remind me of the Batman. This is something Batman would drive.
Look at the old guy. Come on.
Ooh, turbo, nitros.
Oh.
Man, I could just imagine like little kids watching this and feeling, excited. Oh, right now.
Go get him.
Oh, now he takes down the bad guy. I'm not kissing you. He said. He's like, hey, give me a kiss, old man.
Don't expect one from me.
For good luck. Oof, that's dangerous. Damn. You could get decapitated right there. Ah, leap of faith. Ooh,
and they had to drift out right at the right moment.
Oh, these cars are back end heavy. A lot of the weight was distributed to the front, but
it wasn't 4-wheel drive.
No, definitely not. I wonder if the Red Skull guy knows. Ooh, look at the size of the wheel. Puts things into perspective. Oh, he's gonna drop nukes. Oof.
That's so weird because it really is like the Batman.
Yeah, with the hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Stark said that Germans wouldn't attack him with knives. And here they are attacking him with knives. Oh.
Damn!
Oh!
He just tossed him like he was nothing.
Wow. Oh, these are little helicopters. I thought that they were just missiles and nukes. Are these supposed to be like kamikaze pilots where they sacrifice themselves? Whoa!
Oof.
Damn, he just got
Gutted.
yeah, some ground beef.
I mean, we saw the other guy in the beginning, like he just willingly took his own life, so.
Yeah, it's true, true.
Get him! Woo!
Okay. He's in the cockpit. Wow, look how high up they are. You can see the curvature of the earth.
You sure it's not flat?
Oh!
You don't give up? Nope.
Woo!
Here we go, moment of truth.
Yeah, and this one is like hand to hand.
Yeah, it's more fair. Oh, the shield's being used against them. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Oh, they're probably experiencing zero gravity. You know that there's an experience where you could go in an airplane and then it drops like that and you simulate being in space?
What?
You like emulate it, yeah. We should do it. And for like 15 minutes, you're floating as if you're in space.
Huh.
No gravity.
Oh, I've always wanted to try those.
And the plane just drops.
Well, I don't know about that, but...
Hey, you like roller coasters.
I have seen the future, Captain. No flags. Not my future.
Oh, shoot. I still don't know what this Tesseract thing does or is. Ooh, he's touching it with his hands. Are you allowed to do that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, I don't think you're supposed to touch it with your bare hands.
Oh, look. Oh. He just burned himself alive.
Yeah, and where does that fall to? Like, you just ignore it? You just let it?
No, he has to get it probably.
What about the plane?
That's a little bit tougher to explain.
I'll get Howard on the line. He'll know what to do.
This thing's moving too fast and it's heading for New York. Right now, I'm in the middle of nowhere. If I wait any longer, a lot of people are gonna die.
I mean, you could land it in the ocean, right?
You would probably die, though, no?
You could, like, skid it. Like, go, boom, 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 just like a pebble when you
Yeah.
skip it on a lake. I'm a professional pilot over here. I know what I'm talking about.
He's gonna try it. Come on.
You're gonna need a rain check on that dance.
Oh, no.
Aww.
He's crash landing into ice, so that changes everything.
A week next Saturday at the Stork Club. 8 o'clock on the dot. Don't you dare be late.
Wow.
Just be there.
We'll have the band play something slow. I'd hate to step on your...
Wow.
Steve.
He knew he wouldn't make it.
Ooh, that always tugs at the emotional strings, right? The unfulfilled promise.
Yeah.
Wow, look at the wreckage.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's sinking.
Oh my god, I just realized
Look at the sun.
the beginning of the movie is the end. Like at the beginning, that's what they were That's what they were searching
Oh, the freaking wing protruding.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was sinking into the ice. It seems that way. I don't know, but...
Oh, they found it.
Oh, okay. It's in good hands.
But there's no trace of wreckage. And the energy signature stops here.
Just keep looking.
He's hopeful that he's going to find his friend, his lost friend.
Oh, man. Wait, so he died.
Oh, it's the scrawny version of him. Man. He became a symbol.
Wow.
A symbol of hope, because then it showed that they won the war
Hmm.
in the papers V-Day. With the wind, just as it started. Oh.
Oh.
And the crowd well knows that one swing of his bat, this fellow's capable of making it a brand new game.
Baseball.
I never understood baseball.
I've only seen one game ever.
Me too. I've played it. It's more fun to play than to watch.
3 runs will score. Grinder hits to third. DeRosa's going to wave him in. Here comes the relay, but they won't get him.
He said Roger? Oh, I thought it was her.
Or should I say afternoon?
Where am I?
You're in a recovery room in New York City.
The game. It's from May 1941. I know because I was there. Now I'm going to ask you again.
What?
What?
Captain Rogers.
Who are you?
What?
Is this like a simulation?
They're playing like a fake play? Ah!
What? This looks like modern New York City.
Oh
yeah,
my
this is modern New York City.
gosh.
Was all of that a simulation? Oh, this is tripping me out.
Oh my gosh.
What? This is Times Square, modern Times Square. The guy with the eye patch. It's Jules.
Look, I'm sorry about that little show back there, but
from Pulp Fiction.
we thought it best
Mother-
to break it to you slowly.
Break what?
You've been asleep, Cap, for almost 70 years.
What?
Eclipse in the background. Shocking new evidence.
70 years.
Planet Hollywood. Wow, 70.
Had a date.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so confused though. I want you for you. Uncle Sam wants you.
This is a cool credit roll.
Look at that.
Oh, I was gonna say for a second that if that was all fake, you know?
Imagine if they simulated everything.
Yeah.
Wow, that just added a whole new layer to it.
He said I had a date.
I know, right? That's the only thing he could think of. Was the last thing he said. So that's interesting too. Like he was frozen. I don't understand. Like frozen in time?
Like,
is that's what's happening? Like they kept repeating the simulation?
Huh. Was he like,
For 70 years he was running through a simulation? Is Oh, the credit.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I didn't leave my theater seat.
Don't leave your theater seat.
It's like in the theaters when you really have to pee.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay. Let me go to.
Oh, these are the real credits.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Let's go to very Walt Disney Records. Let's just wait and see. Man, my brain is running a mile an hour, which is not fast at all. Just like Michael Scott. And then I forget who, I think it was Pam, and they're just like, really that fast? Wow, that fast, huh?
Wow, that fast.
Look, Captain America will return in the Avengers.
And so will Thor.
Yeah.
Woo!
Shh.
Trouble sleeping?
You here with a mission, sir? Trying to get me back in the world?
Trying to save it.
Yeah, he's pretty good at doing that.
You think you're the only hero in the world?
Wow.
Gentlemen, you're up.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Okay.
We just got like a whole
Wow.
trailer right there.
I know, that's very, very crazy.
That moved way too fast for me to even
compute.
process what I'm seeing.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh.
All right. Captain America, the first Avenger. So obviously Avenger, to avenge someone, to have kind of like not a vendetta, but a redemption, like a redemption for the sake of somebody else.
Yeah.
Like a selfless redemption is what avenging means, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like reciprocating whenever someone's done harm, and so you do it to equal balance the scale a little bit, but what you're saying, it's for the sake of good, kind of, I guess.
Isn't there a saying, like an old proverb, how an eye for an eye makes the world blind or something along those lines? So is that even possible for you to avenge someone? Because isn't there also the whole idea that, like, in these redemption arcs, right, there's usually like a missing, not a missing link, but like somebody's left alive in the vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to like if you seek revenge on someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you seek revenge on me and I have a son, and you avenge whoever I mistreated in your life.
Yeah.
And you avenge them by taking me out.
Yeah.
But then my son grows up, and then my son is going to come after you.
Yeah.
And if you're too old and if you're not around anymore, then whoever you've left on this planet who's directly connected to you, I'm going to take out that on them.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going.
Just
it's a perpetual
inherit.
cycle is my point.
Yeah, inherit the vengeance, right?
Yeah, like you just inherit the generational battles, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
So what are they going to avenge then, right? Because if they're assembling the Avengers, what is it that they are avenging?
Right.
I mean, we haven't seen anything out of the ordinary, really.
Though the biggest mystery for me is the Tesseract. What does the Tesseract truly represent? Why is it linked to Norse mythology? What does it really mean? It doesn't seem like they really offered any explanation, any formal explanation. One thing that I think was really cool about this movie, and I'll just like start off my notes with that, is that there's a lot of like real world parallels. So the whole superheroism is grounded in reality in more ways than one, right? So you have the whole idea, for example, it's known that Hitler and the Nazis, they were obsessed with occultism. Like he owned every single book that you can imagine, like the oldest books on occult magic, occult philosophy, mysticism. And he even believed that like the tools that were used during the Passion of Christ and the spear that pierced the side of Christ while he was on the cross, he believed that not only was that object still intact and located somewhere, hidden somewhere, but that it was imbued with this supernatural power because it was used to destroy a living God, essentially. So he was obsessed with all of these kind of like little Easter eggs and little mysteries of life, and like, what is life all about? You know, like, I don't know, like I think that's pretty cool. And then one of the programs that was founded by the U.S. government, especially after the Second World War, was called Project Paperclip or Operation Paperclip. And the rough idea was that the U.S. government, after the Second World War, they offered a plea deal of sorts where it was more kind of like low-key under the radar, where the American public was not really aware of this particular dealing. But they offered German scientists a plea deal, basically like, we'll let you live if you come to the United States and you, without telling anybody, covertly work in our kind of like NASA, in our government, in our technology department, and help us elevate our technological abilities. Because just like Stark alluded to, the Germans had access to technology that was considered at the time otherworldly.
Yeah.
It's like people didn't really even understand it. And so many people even created conspiracy theories where they believe that Nazi Germany was in direct contact and in direct communion with aliens even. That in exchange for alien technology, they were offering up sacrifices or humans for the aliens to experiment on. And there was a bunch of like talk back in the day and stuff. It's crazy.
So then maybe that's what they're kind of like paralleling, but they just substitute it with the Norse mythology and the mythological aspect of it, but they're really substituting the real world underlying kind of conspiracies that people have, right? So
And I think that it's very accurate with the Norse mythology stuff, because that's what I imagine that they were researching and using as indicators of where to look for the things. You know, because if you really think about it, like, there's a lot of theories about how there are secret alien UFO bases hidden in the depths of Antarctica. But if you look at Antarctica on a serious note, as a parallel to like Jotunheim, which is the land of the frost giants in Norse mythology, and it's what we saw in Thor, right? It's where the big war between Odin and the frost giants took place. Like, that was the main primordial setting for the creation myths in Norse mythology. And so everything in Norse mythology comes from this dance of like fire and ice, essentially. Like, that's what happened in this, like, I think it's called Gutenheim or Gutenham or something like that. I forgot the name.
Yeah.
But there's a name for this primordial void where this dance of ice and fire took place. And so it's just interesting how maybe that's why Hitler was known for conducting thorough researches in Antarctica. And that's why they used submarines. Because instead of trying to navigate on the on the
surface level.
On the surface of the ocean. Help me out here. On the surface of the ocean, they would go deep.
Deep, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's interesting what you're saying, right? Because everything's a parallel, because but what you're saying, right, about Hitler and him kind of trying to find the Holy Lance, which was the spear that was used to pierce the side of Jesus, and he set out expeditions to find these artifacts, just like you're saying. And then that's what we see, that they were literally doing these expeditions in the beginning of the film, which just so happens to be the end of the story at the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
So it's really crazy.
Yeah, the whole pacing of it is weird.
Yeah.
And then I can't really make like what happened at the end. It's like you said you think he woke up 70 years later, but then he just wakes up in a bed with nothing kind of like plugged into him, like no respiratory systems, no beeping hospital machines keeping him alive, nothing?
I have a theory, but we should change it.
The camera.
I was like, keeping an eye. I think that what you said, right, when you mentioned like frozen in time, because I started thinking he's completely preserved, right? And at the beginning of the movie, his shield is completely preserved. In this tundra of snow and ice, it withstood the test of time. We don't know how many years it's been at the beginning of the movie when they find his shield, right, in the wreckage of the plane crash. But at the end, we see that he is still in his clothes. So either I don't know, like, I'm not sure. Either they dressed him and then they tried to, kind of do what I said, which was make him feel like he was still within his reality.
Make him believe.
Yeah, or he was in a coma. Like, I'm not sure how he survived and how he looks exactly the same 70 years later, and I don't know how he literally just stood the test of time.
And I don't know what the extent is in terms of like what they're going to use as plot devices, in terms of like what the government is allegedly used to do. Like if you look at MK Ultra and the mind control and like how they could basically wipe your memory. So who's to say that he doesn't wake up every day? But then it doesn't make sense, because then he doesn't age. Right? So the only explanation for me is that it starts with the wreckage, and they find the wreckage and they walk in, and what stood out to me is the architecture of the ship, which I was paying attention to. It's the same ship, right? So it has to be the same ship in the beginning, because the architecture, the columns look like spider webs, which is what I pointed out. And then they uncover the shield itself, which is frozen. And then I was kind of confused with the timeline when I was going to say Tony Stark showed him, but when Tony Stark's father, what's his name? Howard Stark. So when Howard Stark was showing him the different variations of shields, he found a circular one, and then they painted onto the circular shield the emblem and the symbol of the star and the symbol for Captain America. So then I was like, oh, okay, so is that the shield? Is that the shield that they find frozen? And so now that we see that he's been preserved and he hasn't aged a single bit, then my reasoning, like 1 and 1 equals 2, is that he was frozen. He was frozen in time. And then basically he wakes up, and it's so crazy because it reminds me of the exact plot and premise. Well, not the exact plot and premise, but in this case, have you ever seen Futurama?
No.
No? So Futurama was like an old cartoon that I never really like got into. I wasn't a diehard fan of Futurama, but I would watch it every now and then when there was nothing else on, and it had its great moments. But there was this character called Fry, and the whole premise of the show is that Fry is a pizza delivery guy, if I'm not mistaken, and he delivers to this cryogenic lab where they freeze bodies, and basically you pay money to freeze your body, and then you set the time that you want to be awakened.
Walt Disney.
Yeah, there are theories that Walt Disney himself cryogenically, is that how you say cryogenically?
I think it's cryogenic.
Cryogenically froze himself, and he's waiting to, like reemerge in the future. But the whole premise is that Fry accidentally falls into one of these chambers, freezes himself, preserves his youth, and then wakes up thousands of years in the future, when the future is a completely different world. It's like he's on an alien planet. So that's what this is reminding me of. And it makes sense how they would ease his awakening, right? It's like slowly ease his way towards uncovering it. But his personality type makes sense why he would just break the wall of illusion, and immediately just stumble into the truth, stumble into reality. Because he's not the type to just accept things and not question things. He's a person who questions. He's the hero. He's the seeker. So the seeker will always seek the truth and always be suspicious of things that seem too good to be true. It's too out of character. It's too out of pace. And the last thing that he remembered was the dance which opens a whole other domain of conversation, which is like memory, right? Like, does memory freeze along with the body? It's like, do you freeze to the point where the last thing you remember is the last thing you remember before you got frozen? It's like, what happens to your consciousness in the time span when your body's frozen? It's like, does movement and being alive, is it all reduced to the fact that your body and your heartbeat has to be at a certain normalized level? Like, I don't
That
know.
would make complete sense, because if you think about it, if you're in a state where you're not operating, your brain isn't having to communicate with your senses, and so it's not receiving information and it's not giving information, and so the last thing that it will remember, other than sustaining your regular body functions, which is whatever happens when you're in a comatose state, for example, or when you're frozen, it'll just maintain that. But then in terms of like the sensory input output, that there's nothing really happening to you, and so you have no
Recollection.
it won't trigger the memory kind of. I don't really know what the parts of the brain are, like if it's the prefrontal cortex
We're not
and stuff,
doctors.
but whatever.
We don't have to know
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you can just say it. Part of the brain for memory. Yeah.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
I think that might be it, where it's like if you're not experiencing, then your brain won't have to.
So reality is contingent on the senses, picking up on sensory input, and then translating it through the brain, and then the all is mind, which is what the Kabbalion talks about. But then you're applying like a more literal lens to it, where you only perceive the reality that you perceive through your senses. So if your senses are offline and they're frozen, and your perception is halted, then there's no processing in the brain. So the brain doesn't process anything aside from what the sensories last picked up on.
I think there still could be, but maybe not on a fully conscious level. I don't know.
So as he like wakes up and as he lives his life now, you think that throughout his day, like he's grabbing coffee, and then he hears a kid playing a video game on his PSP or something, and it's going,
Yeah.
and then he's like, ah.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's a like shell shock or
PTSD.
something. PTSD, yeah.
Especially him, right? He's a soldier, which is funny.
A super soldier.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
what you were saying, right? Well, about the memory. What was I going to say? Oh, why he would break through the wall, right? It's because I think that it was hinted to us, like from the beginning, what kind of person he is, right? Especially in the boot camp of kind of readying himself for war. He was completely an outside of the box thinker in comparison to the other soldiers, and he had packed books with him while everybody else is just focused on their brawn and brute and physicality, and he has books, and so that's how he knew how to lower the pole instead of trying to climb it, like this slippery, non-grippable pole. And so, of course, when he heard the baseball game that he had attended, he said, right? And he's like suspicious and he's like piecing it together. He's like a critical thinker. And so his thinking brain is probably always on, and it's very quick, and he's very like
Hyper
intuitive.
analytical.
Yeah.
Like hyper observant. Yeah. Wow. So that one little slip up of information that doesn't really match reality is all it took for him to believe that the wall was fake.
Yes.
That's insane. Thinking outside of the box. Emphasis on that, because that's a brilliant observation, honestly. It's like thinking outside of the box, and then it's visually represented. It's like he literally thought outside the box.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, what's outside this box that I'm in? And then just like broke through it.
That's interesting. When he broke out of the box and he was running through modern New York City, was he barefoot also? Because I didn't really like observe that.
Oh, I didn't pay attention to his feet. I was looking at his surroundings, but he probably was, because it seemed like he was in the same outfit.
Yeah. It's the same t-shirt. It's the same pants.
But the exact same outfit that he exited the pod from, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if that was the exact same outfit, but it looked like it because it wasn't really.
when he exited the pod, he was shirtless and he had the same pants, and then they gave him a T-shirt, and then that's when he ran after the German scientist guy. Interesting. Yeah. So yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna start through the list real quick, and we'll just like knock this out.
So he reemerges twice in like these in this new form of life and reality. Huh.
Yeah. 70 years is a long time. I can't even imagine that. All right. What they see as superstition is science. This is another beautiful thing, right? It's science is a belief system that's predicated on empirical evidence, what is observable to the senses and what can be replicated and reproduced. And that's why his experiment was considered a one-off, right? Because it couldn't be reproduced. And the scientist and the genius behind it, unfortunately, lost his life and wasn't able to see the project towards its full fruition. But yeah, so viewing superstition as a science, because it wasn't really superstition, right? Like when the evil guy, what's his name? Schmidt. When Schmidt in the beginning broke through that wall, which it starts with the villain makes an appearance by also breaking another wall, which is what we joked about being Professor Filch. I don't know if he's considered a professor, but Filch in Hogwarts, and then they break through with like a bulldozer type of thing. But he knew intuitively to click on the eyeball of the snake. That's superstition.
Yeah.
But it's intuition.
Yeah.
And then other people call it magic, which I also wrote down, magic versus science. And Schmidt also said something along the lines of how he can understand that advancements in technology can seem unattainable or far from the regular comprehension of regular men. And yeah, superstition.
And that's interesting too then, right? Because that means that the scientist, which I don't know how to say his name, but I guess I don't know if he's a doctor, but the German scientist,
Yeah, I didn't get his name.
I probably wrote
That's
it
all right.
now. Wait, let's just see.
The guy that he offered steak to, right? Is that who you're talking about?
No, the Erskine, Dr. Erskine.
Who's that?
That's the one that put them in the pod. Because he was telling them.
Okay.
So my point is that I think that it's very interesting how what you're saying, right? Because he's also an outside of the box thinker, and he also has this kind of like superstition and this kind of heightened sense of analytical perception a little bit. And so I think it's interesting that Dr. Erskine chose him as his first conduit for this experiment, and then chose Captain America or Steve Rogers for his second conduit for the experiment.
Right. And then both forces represent like opposites, right? So it's like it's yin and yang.
But also very similar because of their ways of like their processes of thinking is what I was getting at. But then yes, completely different, yes.
Processes of thinking similar to who? Like who are you talking to?
Like
you're saying Captain America and the Red Skull.
Yeah.
They're more similar in the way of thinking. How?
Out of the box
out
thinking.
of the box
right.
thinking.
It's like kind of like trusting your senses. It's like kind of having that like sixth sense a little bit, where you feel when something is off or when you're able to tell how to handle something, which is how he knew to press the eyeball of the snake.
And it's interesting how the scientists said that all that the serum does is that it basically exacerbates what's within the person, right? So Steve Rogers or Steven?
I think I wrote Steve
Rogers, right? So Captain America is an honorable kid, right? Like he starts as an honorable, big heart, wants to prove himself, but not for the sake of fame and pride and glory, but wants to be of service to his country, wants to feel useful, wants to make a difference, right? And you see this throughout history, right? Like times of war have always been times of opportunity for conquest, but also opportunity for personal development. And usually it was the case where back in the day, like, people didn't really have other platforms to elevate themselves through. Like, they didn't have YouTube to become a YouTuber, or even university to become a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer. They had to basically find their glory in the most atrocious acts of violence, which is the act of war, right? So through war, you would define yourself not only as a man, but you could become a hero, and you could become a war hero, and you can be someone of importance within society. And we still have that today, where like veterans are treated with a certain level of respect, and they're given free things, and they're given just better treatment because of the dangers that they put themselves through for the sake of the protection of the country. You know, it doesn't have to be just the US. You know, I'm also Brazilian, and it's the same thing in Brazil. It's that the military, like, there's a sense of pride that comes with that. But you can tell that his reason for going to war is not built entirely on ego, which is what I was getting in the beginning. And from his friend Bucky, which maybe I was like misinterpreting it. Like, maybe Bucky's a really good guy, or was a really good guy, but it seemed like he was wearing the attire, the uniform of a soldier, in order to gain the kind of like the acknowledgement of the public, especially women. And that's why he like told the guy, like, get out of here. And he was walking on like I'm the shit, you know, like, I know who I am. I know I'm a soldier. Yeah.
I think it's definitely that. I think it's definitely a sense of pride and a little bit of arrogance that comes with it, because we saw with the other soldiers too. And I think that the difference in what Dr. Erskine, so I don't forget,
I'm going to write that down, actually.
what Dr. Erskine saw in Steve Rogers was this like undeniable kind of unwavering character in him. Like this, I think that he was just very captivated by his heart, because he said that he didn't want to go to war for the sake of killing. He wanted to go to war to make peace. And so you don't see many of the other soldiers operating in that way. They operate more as like cogs in the machine. It's like they are given the set of rules and information needed, and then they go out into the battlefield and they do as they're assigned to do, you know, what they're assigned to do, and then they come home or they don't. But then the way that he operated was kind of this greater purpose already, and this just like very much established in a different set of values. You know?
Yes. He had a real sense of agency.
Yeah.
And then the other soldiers are typically viewed as like vehicles for acquiring power, right?
Yeah.
Their soldiers are sometimes viewed, especially by their generals, as assets, as like pawns in the grander piece of power. And that's why even when he was like, wait, but you're not going to like send out a mission to rescue these people, and then the guy's like, oh, like, no, like this small fry, it's like, we can't, because logistically it doesn't make sense. And then Captain America has a strong sense of agency, and that's the American way. Like, that's what it's all about, and that's how you become a hero, ironically, is you break all the rules and you go against the establishment, but then you kind of prove to the establishment that your way is somehow more advanced and more, you know, more conducive of change and more conducive of positive results and outcomes than the way that they've been operating at.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes a little break of the chain of commands and a little taking things into your own hands and taking things into your own sense of being, that you create the world you want.
Yeah, and for him, like, it was kind of this lone hero archetype thing, right, where he's getting his call to action, right? He's getting the call, which is to go save his friends specifically, but also his other fellow brothers in arms, and he goes, and it's just very crazy. Like, it's just very interesting, the transitioning at that point, at that moment, from soldier, especially because he was performing for them, which we'll like talk about.
Yeah, that's a whole trip too.
But from soldier specifically to hero, because as a soldier, you follow a set of rules and you follow you're within this system. But as a hero, you're kind of more allowed to break the rules, and you're kind of more allowed to literally take the matters into your own hands. And so that right there was his transitioning and his transformative moment, and stepping into receiving the call of the hero and then following it through.
Very well said. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's true. But it's very interesting what you just said about how like the idea of taking on responsibility and being able to make your own choices, that comes with the weight of responsibility. So sure, you can be a hero, but then you have to kind of like make sure that you're going to succeed. Because if you fail, like if you try to be a hero and you fail, then you can cause more problems and more disruptions and more chaos than whatever you imagined you would be able to do if you were a successful hero. So there's this like double-edged sword kind of, because if he went on a mission to save his buddies and then he did end up getting killed, then that's it. It's like everybody loses.
Yeah.
Because they lose the potential of this super soldier who's filled with potential. And somebody, the scientist Erskine, saw the potential in him when it wasn't even physically emanating. It wasn't even physically represented. So he saw something in him before anybody else did. And before even his best friend, Bucky did, because Bucky just kind of treated him as a little brother, as a little scrawny brother. And it's also interesting too, because you, of all people, have like told me about the whole dynamics of like group mentality at times, especially in high school, right? Usually there's like the mean girls kind of like group, and that like usually it's the case where the popular girl keeps kind of like less popular, like maybe less attractive girls around her in order to draw the male gaze towards the main person, right? And so maybe like that also happens a lot in like other relationships, where that's the vibe I got with Bucky and Rogers before he became a super soldier, is that he's kind of like just dragging him around as like a little brother, but also taking all of the glory for himself. So he's taking on two girls, and you got what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
this is my best friend. And then in comparison, obviously the girls are going to look at him.
Even if it's not ill intended, I do got like I got a
Right.
whiff of that for sure, and that's why he has both of the girls on his arm and not like any of them going to Steve. But what I was gonna ask you is that if, like, back to your other point really quick, if you try to take on the hero's journey and you're not prepared, I guess what I was gonna ask is like, then you can't have resistance, right? Like,
if you're not prepared, if you feel like you're not prepared, or if you're literally not prepared.
either
like,
one,
there's a
but just if
distinction.
there's resistance though.
If there's a
If there's
resistance,
resistance, like how does that hold you back from basically, like, if there's resistance, then you can't, you simply won't be able to succeed. But like how, like, what would you say about that?
I think that it varies. I think that it depends on what makes up, like what justifies the resistance. Like, does the hero resist the call because the hero feels that they're not good enough? Do they feel like they aren't deserving of it? Is it an external power, just like in the case of Thor, where his father Odin, but also God, essentially, like representing God, divinity itself, says, no, like, my son and my child is not ready yet, so I'm
Yeah.
going to put him through a test. And then in this one too, like, there's the whole test motif, the transitioning from like one point to another, the crossing of thresholds, the elevation of experience, right? And then it showed even like a little time lapse of him going through the motions and multiple conquests and missions and successful combat or whatever, to show the progression of experience, because we believe in a hero so long as that hero has a few scars, right? Like, we are always kind of like skeptical of any hero that doesn't bear any scars, because experience is what translates into value in
Yeah.
today's society. Because if I come to you and I say that I am a personal trainer, I've been a personal trainer for 30 years, versus someone who says like, oh, like you are my second client. It's like you're gonna go with the guy who or the girl who has been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
So it's the experience aspect. But to answer your question, I think that the resistance comes, but it doesn't really matter because it depends on the strength of the call. So if the call is strong enough, it's going to break through whatever door it's been knocking at. If nobody comes to answer the door, then it's going to break down the door.
So you think that even if you didn't have the belief in yourself, like in the case of like Steve Rogers, right? If he didn't believe in his potential to take on that mission alone, solo dolo, then he could still see it through.
No.
So then
think
that
that-
does hinder being able to see it through.
Yeah, I think that we can't pretend that there's no such thing as lost potential. It's like that's what we see a lot of, right? Like there's another proverb about how the place with the most amount of dreams is always going to be a cemetery. It's like that's the place where you see the most amount of unresolved and unlived dreams.
Yeah.
And so I think that there is such thing as like unfulfilled potential, and most people walk around with unfulfilled potential within them. So, but I also believe this. I believe that missions and roles and ideas are always kind of floating through the ether, if you will, right? This invisible kind of like ocean that we're all kind of moving through. And it's an ocean of air, it's an ocean of fire, it's an ocean of earth, it's an ocean of, what's the other element? Water. But we don't really perceive it, and we just think that it's whatever it is now that we've been taught. But my point is, things are always ripe for the picking. So if it's not Rogers becoming Captain America, it's going to select whoever else is ready. So it's always going to find its hero. You know what I'm saying? Like that shield is always going to find whoever is ready to receive it.
Yes.
And the call comes and it knocks a few times. But if the call is strong enough, then, you know, it just varies.
And that makes perfect sense, because if he wasn't ready, right, then they would have stopped it when they had that inclination to stop the whole thing. And before he yelled out, no, I can do it. So he showed the will and the readiness. Like, I think that at that point, when you've already refused the call the first time, and now you're ready, I think that that's when it starts. So I guess that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah. Because you have to have heart, right? So it's the heart that like makes the hero. And to your point too, like just jumping off of that point of that scene where everything happens, it reminded me a lot about how a caterpillar goes into the cocoon form and then emerges as a butterfly. That's essentially what happened there, is that they just showed like a quick kind of ultra fast, instantaneous alchemical transformation, the inner transformation and the reflecting externally, but in this like very short span of time. I think that that's what it was embodying. It's like they basically found a way to instantaneously imbue someone with the potential of whatever they already have within, kind of like to exalt it and to transform your best qualities, or in the case of the Red Skull, your worst qualities and your worst nature, and have it just become exacerbated and just 100 times, 100x.
And then apply that, right, to like a real world kind of standpoint, like stance. If you think about it, because I'm just kind of like making stuff up now.
That's what we do here.
If take that for example, right? That like extreme kind of like, it was a quick transformation thing, and it happened with the Red Skull guy, and it happened with Captain America. For us, that happens throughout the entirety of our lives, right?
Yes.
And so the hardships and the pressure, especially under immense pressure, is when the truest you is amplified, right? And that could be the worst parts and the best parts of you, which is what happens, right?
Whichever nature is the most prevailing one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, look, Plato believed in the Plato believed that the soul is comprised of three parts. Plato believed that there's the rational soul, there's the there's the rational soul, there's the spirited soul, and there's the appetitive soul, which means that there's the part of the soul which is the highest part. It's led by the seeking of more knowledge, of virtue, and being kind of like, do you get what I'm saying? It's it's the highest part of the soul, which is supposed to represent the brain and the ability to like pursue knowledge and to grow through understanding. And then there's the spirited soul, which is the warrior spirit, which is the heart, which is the will to action, the will to victory, the will to basically protect the interests of the highest part of the soul. So he even believed that the ideal republic, the ideal city, right, that would be ruled by the philosopher king, the ideal ruler, would be a city where it's broken down in that way of understanding. Like it's a reflection of the perfected soul, where in the city you have the king and the queen who represent the highest form of the soul, and then you have the heart of the city, which is represented by the spirited aspect of the soul, which is the warrior spirit. It's the thing that puts everything into movement. It's the motivating flame. It's the thing that ignites the like progress and
The
just
drive
movement,
and
the
ambition.
drive, and that's represented in the city by the warrior class, which protects the king and the queen and follows the orders of the king and the queen. And then you have the third and the lowest aspect of the soul, which is the appetitive. I believe that's the name. It's a weird name. It's basically the appetite, which controls the appetite, and the lowest nature, which is the need to consume and the sensory input. And so the ideal ruler is ruled by this. This is the prevailing aspect of your soul. It's the highest aspect. And then this highest aspect governs this aspect and governs over the lowest aspect. And so what I'm seeing here is that you have two different points on the spectrum of what has been manifested once the serum has taken control. It's you have Rogers becoming Captain America, being governed by the highest aspect of the soul, becoming a philosopher king, being ruled by the highest interest and the highest virtue, and wanting to protect and wanting to be a savior and wanting to selflessly protect his comrades, strangers, complete strangers, bullies, people who look down on him, who spit at his freaking face and shit. Like, they don't give a fuck about who he is. They hate him. They underestimate him from day one. They talk shit about him. He protects them selflessly, like gives his life up. And then you have the Red Skull, which represents the lowest aspects, the like needs. You know, it's the needing for power. It's like the needing. Anyone who needs power, who presents themselves as needing power, is already lower on this scale. Is the lowest, actually. Because the act of needing is what begets suffering.
Oh, that's so weird when you put it in that spectrum.
Yeah,
Like, because
it's
it's
literally
literally the
spectrum.
movie. It's literally what we see with the. Oh.
Because then the serum is like a perversion, I guess, or it's like a hyperbolized version, I should say, of steroids. You know, but instead of just making you bulky and stuff, it just basically surfaces the like who you are. You wear who you are.
Enhances your spirit, whatever your spirit, if your spirit is tormented or whether it's pure, you know? That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Oh, man.
I just thought that it was pretty cool, though. Like,
But
it's pretty deep.
Yeah, and then can't you say that, with what you're saying, can't you say that Steve Rogers embodies both? Like, he embodies both the warrior spirit and the highest, right? Like, and so he has the perfect balance of both, and so that's why he enters the pod as the scrawny whatever, but with the highest virtue, right? With the most selfless of characters. And then when he comes out, now he has also the physicality and the drive and the ambition and kind of the self-assurance a little bit to take on action even more so than he did before.
Yes.
So he could kind of embody the two.
And I feel like this like 3-point system of like representing it on a spectrum, assume that this is 1 point at the 2 ends of this pen, and the other third point is right in the middle. To your point, right? The Red Skull guy, he also uses this third middle ground, which is the army of the city, which is the heart, right? It's the principle. It's the eternal fire that they would keep burning in Rome that would dictate whether or not their military conquests and their military campaigns were successful or not. And it was protected by the Vestal virgins, if I'm not mistaken. It's the heart of Rome, literally a physical fire that they kept alive for years, hundreds of years, tens of thousands, no, not tens of thousands, but hundreds of years. The Red Skull is the lower nature, but he also has command of this army, which is the heart. So his heart hungers and yearns for control in the form of information and in the form of conquering others, essentially.
Yeah.
So he uses his army for this thing, is what I'm trying to say. But both of them use the heart.
Yeah.
So it's not that Red Skull is heartless. It's just that his heart is set on goals that aren't necessarily virtuous.
Right. So it's like destructive tendencies versus peaceful, but
Yeah.
then it'll fluctuate, and then it'll fluctuate towards the side of the spectrum that they fall upon. So that makes sense.
Because both of them are kind of equals in combat and strength, it seemed. It's like they were, giving each other a hard time.
Yeah.
So what's different then in that case? All right, so none of them are clearly any like substantially stronger than the other. So what makes them different? And the thing that makes them different is the middle. It's the heart. And that's why when the scientist was dying, he pointed at his heart and he said, I forgot what he said, but he pointed at his heart.
I don't remember. I know that earlier he had said that he said something along the lines of like staying true to your staying true to who you are, or
don't let this world change you.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part. Yeah.
But
Ooh,
then
that was nice.
to that point too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are literally a reflection of one another. If one was kind of a twisted reflection, which in this case it would be that the Red Skull is a twisted reflection for Steve Rogers and Captain America of what he could have turned out to be, for example, like going through that if it weren't for the integrity and the moral character that he possesses.
Because you also see that Red Skull is willing to break past the hierarchy of power.
Yeah.
Because he's going against the orders of Hitler.
Yeah.
It's like the most scary villain to ever exist in the real world, right? So he's disobeying orders from this hierarchy. He's breaking out of the box too, but his heart yearns for evil and malevolence, but not for the sake of evil and malevolence, but maybe it is, but it's for the sake of feeling power. Because usually, look, in my guess, right, this Red Skull guy was probably bullied too. And that's the other motif of like the kid who is the abuser becoming the abused becoming the abuser.
Yeah.
And it's a cyclical cycle unless you willingly decide to break it. And then you willingly decide to be compassionate and to have sympathy and to show mercy, which are virtuous things to have, and it requires virtue. And virtue is not something that comes easy. It's something that's earned. It's like you have to earn virtue through experience. Because you have to experience and know and have a direct kind of first-hand experience with the opposite of virtue. And that's why heroes have to overcome enemies in the physical sense, and we have to visually see the hero combating the enemy in order for our primitive lizard brains to compute that, this is also on a symbolic level. This is part of the process of the ceremonial becoming of a hero, if that makes sense. It's like you can't respect Captain America until he shows you the head of the Red Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe we should
reset the camera. Just always say, because then people are like, why is she pointing? Just say we should reset the camera.
I don't even know if I'm seeing the time the right way.
It's like people are like, what does she keep saying? A ghost?
I'm like, over there, look.
Over there. She's looking at me again.
I'm so blind that I can't see like an arm's length away from me.
Like we're equally blind.
Oh, but then what I was gonna say is that so essentially, right, being the strongest soldier, or rather, like, it doesn't even have to be about soldiers, but being the strongest person, not that it has nothing to do with physicality, but I don't think it does, is my point. What I was gonna say is this: I think that what really is a testament to how strong someone is whether they can maintain good moral character even under the harshest of circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you see. It's a common motif. So
Yeah.
you're spot on the money, because you have the story of Job, right, in the
Yes.
Bible, where everything's stripped from him, and essentially it was all predicated on like a dialogue between God and Satan, and then God basically said like, this is my best warrior, and then Satan said like, oh, like I doubted, like it's easy for him to be your best soldier, given the privileges that he has at his disposal. He has a great family, he has whatever. But I bet you that if you allow me to test him, to strip away all of the things that give him happiness on earth and that make him obedient to you, I bet you that his obedience is going to be canceled out. It's like he's not going to obey you anymore. He's not going to worship you anymore. And then you also have the case with the Buddha, right? Like when he was meditating under the Bo tree, Bo or Bodhi tree, I forget.
Bodhi, yeah.
Bodhi tree, he was tested by armies of demons, right? So as he's like meditating and approximating and reaching his nirvana, his enlightenment, his relinquishing of all material worldly kind of worries and ascending to a space of non-duality, a space of not needing anything, a space of complete self-reliance and
yeah,
he was tested by armies of demons. And so there's always a test. And then that's something that I want to really quickly point out, which is a thought that I've been thinking about a lot in the past few months, actually. Like it's been like a recurring kind of like thought. But it's so crazy how for thousands of years, humanity has relied on a set routine of ceremonies to mark and celebrate the transition through different thresholds of life. And we've since kind of abandoned all of these traditions. And with the abandonment of traditions, we have lost any kind of like perspective of time and space, and not just time and space externally, but also our place within the progress of time and space.
Yeah.
So what I mean by all of that is like, there were rituals for baptism. There were rituals for when a boy becomes a man. There was rituals for when a girl becomes a woman. There were rituals for when a boy has to abandon his home and go to war. There were rituals for marriage, but there were always rituals that would mark these like rites of passage, and we've lost those. Like we don't have a commonly shared tradition. America is completely kind of like diversified but stratified too. It's like it's fractured. It's like everybody has their own kind of like pantheon of gods and their own pantheon of values and morals and ethical codes. It's a melting pot and it's beautiful, but there's no prevailing kind of glue that melds everybody together, where if there was, cases of war, I doubt that in the current zeitgeist people would take up arms and kind of fight together alongside, like side by side with each other, because people see more differences nowadays in America than they see commonality or common ground.
Yeah.
But it's just wild to me how like there's none of that.
Yeah. There isn't.
That's all I just wanted to rant about, because like it's crazy. There's none of, so you're like in a dizzying kind of reality. Like you don't know if you're advancing spiritually. You don't know if you're advancing mentally. You don't know if you're because back then, like you would have somebody tell you, it is time now.
Yeah.
Gabriella, you shall go from student to priestess.
Yes.
You shall go from student to whatever.
And that's
There's
it.
none of
And
that.
then you would now embody the new role and the new kind of
Bingo.
things that you had to, responsibilities that you had to presume now, you know?
That's exactly what I was trying to like tie it into, is that that's what they were doing with the whole pod system, is that they're using science, because the men in suits, the old men, right? The men who are salivating over technological advancements in order to profit more off of the war. And you had members of Congress and the state or whatever they said, but they believe in science. These are men who are believers of the religion of science. It's like that's their religion, that's their God, science. So they use science and they show this transformation that's reflected physically, instantaneously, like it's undeniable, it's empirical, you can see it, you can measure it, you can measure the growth of his arm, you can measure the growth of his personality that's reflected in the physical growth, but that's what you need to do in order to convince the people who are the followers of the religion of science. And in that scene, it represents exactly that, that's a rite of passage, and then he becomes a super soldier, and it's undeniable.
Yeah.
So you can't deny it. But it's different than if he was just a scrawny kid who believed adamantly that he could train and become big and become Captain America. Like, they wouldn't really care.
Yeah, they would. And then what I was going to say too is that they're like, that was the reason why no vial of the serum survived and why the doctor himself also didn't survive, because you can't it's like those types of things are sacred. It's like they are sacred, the rites of passage, these things. And then what you're saying is the tainted kind of opposite of it, which is the abusing of power and wanting to just assert more power and more control, and wanting and in that sense it won't ever prevail, and in the case that it ever does, it'll always fall back down, which is what we see with the Red Skull.
Yes, and he was trying to source his power from exterior places.
Yeah. And wait, the Tesseract, right? Is like a mythological object, is what I'm assuming. It's like
how it's painted,
it's infinite god-like power, right? And so
unlimited power.
Yeah, and so what's interesting is that he not only wants to just overcome the Nazi Germany control that he's under, right? Like under Hitler's thumb and stuff. He wants to have complete control over the world, is what he was saying. And so he wants to assume the powers of a god.
Yes.
He's basically asserting himself as a god among mortal men, which is flawed, and which is why that ends up being flawed. You know, why it ends up being his fall.
Because that's the perversion of the idea of like identity.
Yeah.
Right? So he's separating himself so much from the world and believing so much in his individualism that his ego has adopted this personified kind of just extrapolated version of what it means to exist, which is to exist as a god above everybody else. But then here's a crazy thing, right? He wants dominance over the world. Someone who has full dominance over themselves wants nothing else. And the person who lacks control, self-control, or self-understanding, doesn't know themselves, like know thyself. The person who does not know themselves wants to conquer everything outside of themselves, because you have to fill that void, that like appetite, that lower nature. The lower nature will never be satiated. So the only satiating thing is when you seek wisdom and understanding and growth through accumulating experiences and through pursuing things that are virtuous. Virtue is infinite, right? Like it's sourced infinitely, and that's what the Tesseract is supposed to represent. It's infinite power, but not in the way that Red Skull interpreted it to be, in my opinion. I think that he has a miscued perception of what absolute power means.
And that's why it consumes him in the end, right? It's like it's just a metaphor for that.
Because he can't, because I think that in that moment, in that scene, it showed the cosmos, it showed the infinite, right? Which is what we kind of came off of with Thor, What?
I was like, I'm like, yeah, I got so excited
Someone's
again.
excited over here. She's like tapping into her lower instinct over here. She's becoming an animal. Animalistic.
I'm like, yeah.
I like it. I like it. More.
I'm like, fire.
Fire. I like it.
Oh gosh.
But I forgot what I was saying.
No, you were saying Thor, the
Oh,
cosmos. Yeah.
we were coming off from the whole cosmic adventure with Thor. And then that's what the Tesseract shows, is that like when he held it and he saw the infinite nature of reality, it was so overwhelming that he was consumed by it.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like he just disappeared.
That's oh man. But then it is so okay, objectively then in the context of the film, the Tesseract is an object that is a mythological artifact, whether it is from Asgard or from some other place, but it is a cosmic object. It's obviously not of this world because it causes people to just disseminate on the spot. So
it's a divine artifact.
Yes.
Because it belonged to Odin. Right, to the Allfather.
Yeah, and then what I was gonna tell you is that in that beginning scene with when he's with Filch, when Schmidt and Filch are wherever they are, that is where Thor started, because it was the same name. I know, because it was like T-O, and then the O has like this line through it, and then I was like, oh, like I caught the name because it's what Odin was like narrating about in the beginning.
Was it?
And that's an actual place in Norway.
Ooh, we should visit.
And so that place is meant to have literal kind of connections to Norse mythology.
Right, because it's where the Vikings came from, right?
Yeah. But then that's what that scene, like where that scene was showing, and then it's I think also where the Frost Giants and Odin faced, maybe not in the grand battle, but they faced because the Frost Giants were trying to wipe out the humanity from that location, from Midgard, I guess, you know.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like trying to remember how
there
Odin
are
narrated.
Layers to it. Yeah.
It's like
it's just hard to keep track of everything, especially now that we're like watching Game of Thrones and there's like all these names and stuff. Like, so forgive us if we're a little musty.
But honestly, it's actually been helping. Like, I feel like I'm more kind of connected,
like flourishing your brain in terms of like connections and stuff.
Yeah, versus like when we would go way too long and then it would kind of just be like, you know, and then in those points I would definitely have way more brain farts in terms of information and stuff.
Yeah, it's been helping us like record consistently every day, and I feel like it'll get easier over time where it'll just like flow off the flow off the tongue. All right. Do a little dance.
Do my dance.
Nazi. Okay, so my next note reads Nazi dudes, octopus skull Tesseract. So the octopus. I don't understand what the octopus has to do with Hydra, because it does make sense because Hydra is like a different creature depending on who tells the story, depending on what location you're in. But it's a mythological story that, for the most part, I think it's supposed to be like a profound reimagining, retelling of the Tiamat story in an ancient Sumerian text. I have to like brush up on that. But the Hydra is a real mythological creature of stories, at least. It's a real story where I believe it had like 5 or 6 heads. And then when you cut one of the heads off, 2 more appeared. And so it was virtually infinite. And the story said that no hero was ever able to take down this beast until one day Hercules came along and he took on the challenge and he said, I'm going to defeat the Great Hydra. And Hercules was fighting the Great Hydra. He decapitated it a few times, but it kept regrowing the head, just like Tails had warned him. Until, I forget who assisted him, but basically what happened was he tag teamed with somebody else, and they fought the Hydra. And then this time, when he would cut off one of the heads, the other person would come in with like a welding, kind of like a hot welding thing, and would close it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
when you weld
close
something,
the
like close the hole,
yeah.
so that the other two heads couldn't like protrude from it.
Oh, I see.
And that's how they took it down.
On the
Is that
severed part, and then to kind of like stop it, it's like kind of like
put an end to it.
forge it together,
Yeah.
like weld it together so that it would stay
Yeah.
shut, kind of. Yeah.
Just like in Forged in the Fire,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
we
one of our
watched-
favorite shows. It's like we would watch people. Well, what's the steel called? Damascus.
Damascus. Yeah.
Damascus steel.
Damascus steel. Yeah.
Yeah. Welding and shit.
Oh man, the Forge of Fire is fun to watch.
But yeah, so Hydra, pretty cool. But here it's depicted as an octopus, as Squidward from SpongeBob.
Squidward. What you said, right, about the. I'm like trying to
No,
jump
we
back
don't
in.
have to always like try to like string it back, but we could just move on.
Well, just to string in something, right? I forgot what exactly you said, like how you said it, but it made me think about this. It made me think about how I want to remember what you said.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't work to string it back. It works
No.
to just move on.
Okay, but look, when watching, couldn't help but think of Steve Rogers as a David figure in the story of David and Goliath, because he starts off as this scrawny, skinny guy, and then he's up against these like towering soldiers who are, just muscular and big and whatever, and then the ultimate Goliath is my point, or the ultimate kind of creature that you were describing, the
Hydra.
The Hydra, yeah, sorry. The Hydra is the Red Skull in his case, right? Like it's the Hydra, it's the Goliath, and so he faces that in the end. But then my point is that it's just interesting because in the story of David and Goliath, if I'm not mistaken, all of the other soldiers kind of cower away, which is what we see in the scene where he jumps up like on top of the grenade while the other soldiers kind of like disperse and try to flee as quickly as possible. And so it's just like this parallel and this kind of, I don't know, setting up of what his character ends up being.
Yeah.
Which is an underdog that prevails against even the most atrocious of beasts, which is this Red Skull and,
David versus Goliath. Yeah, I think it's always the underdog kind of thing, which makes us root more for the hero. I think that it always imbues the hero with more relatable characteristics, because we've all had moments where we felt like cowards and we felt like we could have done more. And so when you see someone who has an adamant belief in themselves and they put themselves in these positions where they just follow a call and they just don't even know if it's going to work out or not, there's a certain courage that comes from that, because we're all deathly afraid of failure, of like being humiliated essentially, or worse, expelled and killed.
We are, but then isn't it strange that he isn't at all? He's not embarrassed or
I feel like
worried
he
about-
has nothing to lose.
Yeah. It's I'm curious to know what happened to his parents, because it doesn't seem like he has parents.
Well, he explained it to the doctor. He said that his dad was in the military and his mom, I forgot. I have to rewatch that part.
But see, so then that's interesting. If you're saying, like, with what you're saying, like he literally has nothing to lose, and so then that also makes that ending scene where he feels like now he has a lot to lose, especially with this relationship that he's building with Peggy Carter, right? Then it kind of just shows this complete full circle moment, where it's like he goes from someone who has nothing to lose to having everything to lose and still sacrificing himself and still kind of willing to risk it all.
Yeah, I think that every every instance of his every phase of his development, he has someone in mind. I feel like the main reason why he wanted to go to war was because of his friend Bucky,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, his friend Bucky was at war or was going to war, and that's why at the World Fair he told him like just like wait for me, and then he like gives him a salute and then moves on. So his incentive to go to war is to be alongside and to fight alongside his best friend. And then when the scientist passes away, then he makes a vow that he's going to take down all of Hydra. Or was that after Bucky was killed? I think it was after Bucky died.
Yeah.
Because then he's drinking and he can't. The interesting thing is that because of his metabolism, which Carter said that it's like 4 times the normal human metabolism, he can't get drunk, which is crazy to me. Because the fact that he can't run away from his emotions, he can't drown his experiences, he can't avoid anything. There's no escapism when you're Captain America. You have to face everything head on. You have to face every loss, every pain, every gain, every victory. Everything has to be felt soberly, and that's what the hero does. The hero feels everything soberly, like when, for example, the crucifixion, the Passion of Christ, right? That was felt soberly, right? Like he didn't drown out and like numb himself before he went on, like before he went through everything. And the same thing, it's like that's every hero's journey, is that the moment of absolute pain or maximum pain is always going to be the moment of maximum transformation. And that everybody can agree on, you know, like it's through your biggest pains and through the worst moments of your life where you see that huge leap in growth, that you know, it's crazy about the whole sober thing. He can't drown out.
Yeah, like you have to face the gravity of it.
To face the music. Yeah.
And so there's no escapism, right? And then that's when we see at the end when he's like ferociously punching the punching bag, like he has to punch it until it's basically disassembled from the ceiling. Like that's how much like my point is that he has so much strength too that like for normal people, boxing is a form of a meditative release, right? It's like for some people, like that's what they use, especially to channel out some anger that they might have pent up. And then for him, it's like he does it, but he has so much strength too. Like not only his metabolism 4x, but his strength and everything else is amplified. And so he literally can't even escape through just like beating a boxing bag without it being ripped from the ceiling. And even then, it's not completely channeling the full extent of the power that he has now.
And then maybe even him destroying the boxing bag and causing that disruption is like a reminder that everything he touches, he breaks.
Yeah.
Which is the whole idea with the Hulk, right? It's like he can't control his power. And that's the whole idea, is that he tries to like meditate and breathe and do breathing exercise and become one and become fully integrated, like integrate all aspects of himself. And then here it's like even that probably angers him more. It's like, oh man, see, like I just broke this bag. It's like I can't do anything right. I break everything.
And it's so crazy that you mentioned the Hulk, because I think that the serum is just the perfected version of whatever they gave the Hulk, because what they gave the Hulk kind of made him mutated. It made him this transformative being that goes from human to mutant, whatever it is, you know,
That's
mutated
trippy.
thing. And then for Captain America, and it also did it for the Red Skull. So it might be, if you have like unresolved stuff, that's how it manifests. It manifests in this like physical mutation. But then for Captain America, because his spirit is so unbending and so unwavering, he can maintain and even amplify in a aesthetic and kind of whatever, like in an aesthetic way, his being completely and not be monstrified, like not turn into like some monstrous figure.
And he can strike a certain consistency too. Like he stays in that form the whole time. It's not like he reverts back to scrawny Steve.
No.
It's like he's always the Hulk.
Yeah, he's always this perfected version. And whatever they did with the Hulk was for matters of war, was it not? Like, was it not to use him as a weapon of sorts? Like, I don't know what the...
Every advancement in scientific development is usually catered towards war.
Yeah, it's like it's meant to use them as a weapon. And so that's what the Red Skull guy is also trying to do with the Tesseract. It's like meant to use these things that are out of their control to kind of fight against human weapons, you know, and
which is what we see with like Iron Man too. It's like Tony Stark and the Stark legacy is built off of manufacturing weapons for war.
Yeah.
And it's funny, it's like all of it, the incentive for innovation in America is all geared from war. It's like, it's weird.
It is.
It's the gears of war, quite literally. All right, I'm just gonna like skim through these notes real quick. Expo of Tomorrow, speaking of Stark, I found the way that they connect everything together is very elegant. You know, they connected Thor and Iron Man. I didn't see really a connection to Hulk, aside from the ones that we've made. Excuse me.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about Hulk either.
Which like maybe it's a stretch, maybe it's not, who knows. But interesting, Expo of Tomorrow. There were a few kind of like expos back in the day where they would create these kind of like European looking cities within certain states of the United States of America. And it was called the World Fair too. Like it was like the World State Fair or something like that. I think it was the World Fair. And they would basically showcase advancements in technology, architecture, arts.
Nice. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Hitler was obsessed with the occult. We already talked about that. He was obsessed. Like super obsessed with the occult. He believed that he was going to find some like supernatural artifact which would imbue him with the powers of a god and then take over his rightful position as the ruler of the world and of the universe. So it's pretty deranged the way he was thinking.
Wow, it's gnarly.
Speaking of this individual though, they never showed, like they showed glimpses of the actual Nazi patch, right? The actual ones used. But only like very short glimpses and never like a full kind of like here's for the camera symbol, never a close up. And whenever they showed it, like one guy had the patch on and every time he was shown, it was always just like the red thing is like the closest that they went. And it's funny how they would like they can show a person being grinded like ground beef through the propellers of a helicopter airplane thing, but they won't show this highly, like, symbolically imbued symbol.
Yeah, I think obviously because it's so politically charged,
Of course.
but then also
The whole movie's about politics.
yeah, but then that's weird, right? Because what I was gonna say is that it's a very main part of this plot, like the World War II and what that entails is Nazi Germany and stuff. But then I think that maybe it's also purposeful to not focus too much on that aspect of the plot, like on the World War II parallels and references of the plot, because they don't want you to get, the whole point of movies is to kind of take you out of reality, but then also draw parallels to reality, like make you relate to it, but
Ground you in reality, but then allow you to explore.
yeah, and so you don't want to get people too grounded in reality, especially in a movie that maybe it's not like the focal point, like they really want the focal point to be on the superhero, and so you don't want to put these other symbolism, like symbols and stuff that
Like in Schindler's List, it's not a historic film.
yeah, so you don't want to do stuff
This
that might
one.
upset people, and then like
Yeah, but then it's tricky too because these like big studios, right? Like Disney and Marvel and all these things, they have shareholders too. So
Yeah.
so a lot of their intentions and a lot of their ambitions are a little nebulous, like Michael Scott would say, a little nebulous. You don't really know if they're doing that because of what you're saying or if they're just doing that because it's the safest move publicly.
Yeah.
And as a company, I don't know, who knows.
Yeah, with like I get exactly what you're saying with like with affairs and stuff, you know, with ties and connections.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting how they didn't show the symbol. Fought with weapons, won by soldiers or won by whatever. Serum emphasizes what is within. We already touched on that. Weak men know strength and compassion. We kind of already talked about that. Pod, cocoon, butterfly, lights. Oh, yeah, like when he was going through the transformation, they were wearing sunglasses. Think about that. It's like the light of the sun is what he embodied. Like he embodied the light of the sun. And he just, like he was shining so bright in that moment because of the transformation. Like it's very, very deeply symbolic. And it would take me like a few 20-minute chunks to get down through that. But I'm not going to do it today. But my point is just that the light of the sun is very highly symbolic. And it's supposed to represent that he's achieving the ultimate state of consciousness, of like heightened consciousness, of solar consciousness. He's becoming the sun king. He's shining like the sun. He's embodying fully what this thing that we rely on every day, the sun itself. He's embodying that infinite potential, that infinite power, that infinite shine, that infinite light. He is in that moment embodying it. And that's why people think that he's suffering, but really he's just adjusting to just the overbearingness of the light.
Wow.
And that's usually one of the thresholds that people cross on their spiritual journeys, like when they have an awakening moment, is that they have like a meeting with the light. And a lot of times, like the hero resists the call because the light itself is so overbearing, you know, and that's what happens in the allegory of the cave, which is the allegory of Plato's cave, where the person who frees themselves from the chains of illusion walks over the puppet masters, goes towards the exit of the cave. They witness sunlight for the first time directly from the source, and it's so overbearing that it causes a deep kind of like destabilization of their whole understanding of how the world works, and the whole outlook is just crumbles. And the result of exiting the cave, of exiting ignorance, is depression. Like that's the first stage, because everything you once thought you knew as the light of the sun, which was just being controlled by puppet masters using just a fire, just a regular bundle of fire, you're witnessing the sun for the first time, and the first thought is just complete collapse of whatever you believed.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to him. Everybody's wearing sunglasses because he is now becoming a light being. He is transforming. He is embodying the light. Literally, he's like the light elves from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Super bright.
And that's why there's like sparks, like kind of like these like lightning
Yeah.
sparks flashing and stuff. I think that that's also meant to represent like the power that he's harnessing, and those sparks are both kind of like create this sense of awe, but then also remind you of danger. And so that's why they have to like take cover and shield your eyes and stuff, but then you're also in awe, like you can't look away, and you have to still stay to see what births itself now out of this pod.
Yeah, because lightning has historically been a harbinger of harvest, right? Because if you see lightning, then that means that rain is coming, and that means that it's going to help fertilize your soil, and it's going to help grow crops, and it's going to result in a bountiful harvest.
Yeah.
So everybody, like, you can't look away. You know, it's like it's so mesmerizing, the pure light that's emanating out of this person, you know, and he's producing the light. And that's what's interesting, because he's just being injected with the serum. And then when it's playing the flashback of the Schmidt guy injecting himself with the serum, it doesn't show that he's emanating as light. His transformation is decay. It's like he's he's becoming more and more skeletal. He's becoming more and more mortal, fleeting, perishable, you know? And then Steve Rogers becomes eternal. It's this eternal ball of light.
Yeah, I wonder now, like how immune is he to damage dealt, and like obviously he's not immortal, but like what is his threshold for pain and kind of like
bullets,
yeah,
fall damage.
yeah. I
I
mean,
would be curious to know.
he was obviously worried about getting decimated by that thing, so we know that he's not immortal.
And he was worried about when I think it was the Red Skull pointed a gun to his head.
Yeah.
Like he had an expression that like, oh shit, I might die.
Yeah.
So I'm almost done. Hydra, Hercules, magic versus science, harness powers of gods, Operation Paperclip. Yeah, it's the whole thing about the Nazis were trying to find some crazy stuff. Bonds for war. So the whole propaganda thing, I think that was so crazy because he had the opportunity to be a symbol of what a hero represents when it's constructed. So the image of a hero is constructed, and he had the opportunity to fit those shoes and to embody that symbol of a hero. But then he let go of that completely, and he decided instead to undergo the trials that makes a hero a true hero. You know, so he could have just lived on the stage and just, you know, just been that guy, just been Captain America, and we saw comics being made and we saw movies being made, and he's a superstar. He's probably making good money. He's famous, so fame and fortune. But that wasn't what kind of appeased his soul.
Yeah, I also took note of that part, and kind of made the connection of like how they were using him, and he was going along with it, but using him as a performer to kind of boost the morale of the other soldiers, which is what they would do. It's like when they would bring in the dancing ladies and these performers, and actors would do that, and that was like a real thing. Like there would be celebrities that would come and they would boost the morale, and they still do that today, I'm sure, in cases where they go and kind of offer this sense of like encouragement again, because they're depleted from being
Humanity.
at war. Yeah, from humanity.
And they do it a lot with comedians nowadays too.
Yeah.
Because absurdism is what is fed to soldiers.
Yeah.
It's like you get comedians who are absurdists, most of them, like they talk about the absurdity of life. And yeah, like that's what they feed people in the military. It's like you have comedians.
Yeah.
Because you have to make fun of the absurdities of life. You have to laugh at it. Otherwise, you're going to just not want to live in it.
But then there's that question of like, is he going to be a performer, or is he going to be his authentic and genuine self, you know?
It's about living on the superficial versus the deep.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But then also, it's interesting because he's just like a complete caricature. Like even his suit is this like theatrical, exaggerated thing, you know? And I just find it really funny, like the propaganda and how they wanted to make him the symbol for hope and the symbol for protection and the symbol for the American patriotism and stuff. But then the real symbol is like the action.
Yes.
It's not the mask. It's not the appearance. It's not which we saw in like the Spider-Man Miles Morales when he says that anyone can be Spider-Man. Like anyone can wear the mask. Like we all can be Spider-Man, but it's not about the mask. Like it isn't about the appearance or the physicality, and like that's the whole premise of this movie.
And I think that they also take into account when they design these like superhero costumes, they take into account the like what features are left exposed. So in a lot of cases, they cover most of the features and they leave the mouth, or in Spider-Man's case, they cover the entire face or the entire body, so that anybody truly can be Spider-Man. But in this case too, like they cover a lot of his features, And so in many ways, like other soldiers, other men are supposed to look at him and view him as a spirit animal of sorts, where they can embody these virtues of a real life superhero and then go into war and wage war against the enemy and protect your country.
Yeah.
But speaking of protecting too, I think it's very interesting how Captain America's weapon of choice is a shield. Yeah. You know, so it's not a sword, it's not a gun, it's a shield.
Mm-hmm.
But you look like you think of a shield and you're like, oh, okay, so he's always going to be on the defensive. He's always just going to put his shield down, kind of how we saw in Lord of the Rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like different formations where they have shields and stuff, and they use shields to kind of like on the defense. Here, he's on the offense with a shield. Yeah. So it's this, you know, like it's just interesting. It's very cool to me. It's very kind of unexpected. It's like it's using this thing that has historically been used for a certain purpose and then using it for the opposite, using his shield as the sword.
Yeah.
Because protection is the sword.
Yeah, it's the duality of both. Like he can use it in defense and in attack.
Right.
And so it's a form of protection and it's a weapon.
And what we saw in Game of Thrones too with Arya with the needle, her professor said that the needle should be an extension of the body, of the arm. So the shield becomes an extension of himself. And so that's why I'm like pointing out his weapon of choice, because the warrior's weapon of choice the weapon will always choose the warrior. And that's what we learned with Harry Potter. The wand chooses the wizard. Here, the shield caught his attention. Again, intuition, superstition, whatever you want to call it. He intuitively was drawn to the circular shield and chose it as his weapon.
Mm-hmm. And not only in that instance, but in the first instance when he's getting beat up by the first guy ever in the movie, he grabs a garbage can lid, which now I just realized. Like, he grabbed a garbage can lid, so it makes sense that the perfect weapon for him is a weapon of self-defense, but then a weapon that can also be used to not only guard, but to also retribute the attack that's being put on him.
And serves as a boomerang and always finds its way back to him. Is loyal to him too, because he also used the taxi door as a shield too. And it shows patience, it shows trust.
Yeah.
Because for you to just patiently stand there with a shield and just trust that this shield is gonna shield you from oncoming bullets, that shows like a different relationship with the weapon of choice and with destiny. It's like you have to trust that the shield is gonna withhold.
Yeah, because most other weapons, it's about like having to act fast and having to like act. But then with the shield, it's kind of this more grounded, but then it also has the flexibility to do more than just stay stagnantly protecting you, you know?
Yeah, and then it kind of challenges this idea of faith too. It's like you have to have faith in your shield, because if you don't have faith in the protectiveness of what you're using to protect yourself, then you don't have anything.
That's exactly what I was thinking about too, was like faith, and how faith is the strongest thing that you can have. The strongest weapon that you can have on your side is faith.
Yes.
Oof.
Because a lot of these, because a lot of the things that we saw was a leap of faith too. So the hero is the one who takes more than one leap of faith, is always open to taking the leap of faith. You know, because it's like leap of faith.
Just like there's multiple stories like that in the Bible too. Like who was it that God asked him to sacrifice his son? Was it Abraham?
I think it was Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah, so he asked him to sacrifice his son, and then it's kind of that leap of faith. But then you see how having faith always kind of rewards you.
Blind faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, blind faith.
Ooh, it's crazy.
But yeah, bonds for war. And then, sorry. In one of his theater performances, they also made sure to show the kid reacting to it. Yeah. So it's always like creating like a good guy, bad guy. You know that the reason why he even got in that position was because a greedy businessman saw an opportunity, a business opportunity, and the business guy was in the audience enjoying it, watching it. amused and proud of Captain America's performance because it's probably generating income. It's selling bonds for war. It's putting bullets in the guns of the good guy. And then there's a whole like motif created, and there's a story arc behind it, and it's the good guys versus the bad guys. And yeah, it's just interesting how like everything's meticulously crafted
Yeah.
for a specific agenda, and it's almost always crafted to the point where it's going to be understood not only by older people, but by every age of that specific demographic. And usually it starts with children, because children are more susceptible to imagination.
Yeah.
And symbolism requires imagination in order to understand it. Otherwise, you'll just look at something and say like, no, it's not. It's not that deep. Like it's not that deep, guys, because you lack imagination.
Yeah,
You know?
and also it's like the prime time to plant the seeds
Yes.
that you wish that you want to see how they sprout 20, 30 years down the line. So the whole point is to like do it as early as possible, which is why it's taught very early on and why it's taught in ways that have like imagination intertwined with it. But then it's so that those seeds end up sprouting throughout the lifespan of this child.
Priming and conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just funny. Not a crush, but faith, right? Because Carter was asked if she had a crush on him, and then she said no, that she had faith. So I think that she fell first for his welcoming of change. You know, like he not only welcomes change, but he thrives in change. He's very adaptable, and I think maybe that's what she fell for. It's like that's what she admires in him.
Yeah.
Where most men are just alike each other, and they don't really show too much promise maybe at that time of maturity or emotional maturity, development. So even when she sees him cry at the bar, like that just makes her fall more and more in love with him, because it shows that he has emotional range, that he's in touch with his feelings, that he can relate to her on levels that other men can't. Something like that.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And I want to talk about like the whole dance thing too after, but go.
I'm literally almost done. A diverse group who represents American demographics. Oh yeah. There was a scene at the table where the members of the army that Captain America saved, they were all gathered around the table, right? And then you had different representations of basically the entire American demographics of that time surrounding and sitting at the table. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. I don't think that it's for the sake of, like, merely for the sake of inclusion. Obviously it is, because you want to watch the movie and you want to relate to the movie. So if you come from an Asian heritage, then you're going to see an Asian representation in the movie. If you're a redhead, if you are black, if you're white, like whatever you are, if you're a woman, a man, whatever. But it showed what seemed to me like the whole entire demographics of America at that table, speaking with Captain America. And then Captain America having conversation with every element that makes up this beautiful and grand melting pot that we call America.
Yeah, and then it's kind of this idea of how now, like, he's already asserted himself as, like, being able to individually do things, but now he has to integrate himself in this group, in this, like, unified collective unit of different people from different walks of life and who have different unique sets of skills, and then they have to kind of work together and make things happen.
Exactly that. Exactly. He has to measure himself against the demographics of America, because that's who he's fighting for.
Yeah.
So he's having a conversation with the representatives of the people that he's fighting for.
Yeah, and he's leading them.
But
then it's perfect, because it's not about appearances, just like we've been talking about, and it's just about the character. So it's about the character of his heart, and so that's what'll make him a good leader, even if it's not even if they sitting at the table with him don't see a representation of themselves in like skin complexion, for example, they can see it in the character of their hearts, like with each other.
Virtue
Yeah.
and heart.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the last one is just shield, protector versus sword, which is exactly what we were talking about. And that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all of it.
I really don't have like much else to say, but one thing I did want to touch on for sure
Go.
was the idea of the dance. I think that them making a promise to like go on a date and to share a dance with one another, I think that that's very telling, because we saw in Harry Potter, for example, when Harry and Hermione share that dance scene when they're dancing to the "Oh My Children" song, because I had to save that in
wait for me. Now I'm free.
But then they share that moment with each other during these trivial times, during these times of war, and there's a reason for that. And I think it's because, especially in the times of hardships, is when you're kind of craving and longing for those intimate moments of safety and security and connection that you are deprived of and can't even bask in during the times of war, especially. And so that's why dancing, especially in the 1940s, was something that was shared so much of, I bet, is because it's kind of like the complete opposite, and it's this very like pure and just like safe and also fluid movement that completely contrasts the ideas of what war is and what fighting at war is.
Yes. And I think that dancing also is kind of like a teaser trailer, if you will, because growing up in Brazil, right, dancing is a huge component of like lifestyle there, right? So if you go to a party, for example, usually it's the case where like a guy will approach a group of women that are all together and they're all friends, and he'll approach a group of women and then pick one and then invite her to dance, and then that becomes like a little teaser, a little appetizer that will decide if the girl is going to further conversate with the guy and vice versa. And usually what that means to me, it's kind of like it serves as a little teaser. It's like, can you balance sexual energy? Can you balance improvisational energy? Can you balance freedom and just fluidness? And can you like create this like harmony? Can you harmonize with me while existing and while kind of like harmonize with the music? Can you harmonize with me? Can you harmonize with the dance floor? It's like, how good are you at basically making the other person fit into your world to the point where you guys are like dancing? And then that's why people say that when you're dancing with somebody, it feels as if you and that somebody are the only people in the room. And that's why there's the other like saying, it's like dance as if nobody's watching.
Exactly.
It's just like fluid, but it's also intuition. Just like me right now, like I'm a professional dancer. You see, I know, it's pretty impressive. I know.
And then watch this. This is my dance, guys.
And then watch this. Ready? Wait for it. Wait.
Oh, nice.
And then also.
Nice.
Like it's nothing.
Can watch this.
Yeah. That's the Squidward
And
dance.
watch this.
Yeah.
And watch this.
That's pretty impressive. And
I guess the last thing I wanted to point out was, two things. Really quick things
no,
too.
Take your time.
But the grenade thing was interesting because I'm pretty sure that that's like a real tactic that they use to test the reactions and responses of soldiers. So they do kind of these spontaneous things to test how they'll react, especially under the pressure of something like a grenade being thrown, for example. And so that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing
Fight or flight.
is that Dr. Erskine, I keep making sure if I'm saying his name right, Dr. Erskine, he kind of reminded me somewhat of a parallel to
Frankenstein.
Albert Einstein is what I was going to say,
Einstein.
because he flees Nazi Germany. He flees the or I don't know if it's Nazi Germany, but he flees the oppressive control of Germany. And he's this scientist, and like, I don't know, I just made that parallel. He kind of had that look to him.
But now that you say Stein, I thought Frankenstein.
Frankenstein too.
Because he creates a monster in the form of Red Skull.
Yeah.
But then he also redeems his first creation with his second creation. And then his second creation reconciles the differences and restores the balance. But then the creator has to sacrifice himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I don't want to spoil what the story of Frankenstein is. You'll have to read the story.
I have to
of
read Frankenstein. I've never read it.
Because it's, man, there's a real parallel there, but I won't say it because it's a great book.
We'll cover it on the podcast eventually.
But yeah, then the last thing I have, let's just double check if I have anything else, guys. Because we did a lot of talking. We're also doing this pretty late, and we're doing this with like running on a few hours of sleep. We haven't been like sleeping properly, but we're doing it. We're doing great. We're doing well. We're just being who we gotta be.
Mentally gone.
Exactly. I just thought that this is just so incredible to think about, at least for me, is the idea that Captain America is a soldier, right? First and foremost, he starts as like someone who's trying to become a soldier, right?
Yes.
And what makes a perfect soldier than someone who will literally soldier through every test of resistance and pushback and kind of like hardship and circumstance and condition than him. Like, he's literally done that from the beginning until the very end.
Yes.
And so he is the perfect soldier. He literally soldiers through every single test he's been given. He soldiers through it.
Even when he has every reason to cower it away and to maybe give up.
He never, like, he refuses to back down.
I think that it's that repetition, right? I think that repetition is the god of all knowledge. And through repetition, you uncover true wisdom, right? But you have to be good at something. And that's why we're like, practice makes perfect. So he has like a repetition mindset where he can always try again. He's always going to get up again. And that's why he says, like, I could do this all day. I could take punches all day. It's like, you can't hurt me type of thing. Which kind of reminds me of, speaking of can't hurt me, David Goggins. David Goggins is a motivational speaker. He's also somebody who has conquered the mind. And he speaks on callousing the mind. It's like, you must callous the mind. And what callous is when you work out and when you're doing heavy labor, like manual labor, or you're working out at the gym specifically, like, you create a bunch of calluses in between your fingers because of the grip strength, right? It's like gripping and the friction, but you have to get your hands calloused in order to do anything in life. And he believes that you have to callous the mind, where the mind becomes so accustomed to the brute execution aspect of it, and to execution through the worst of weathers, and no matter the environment, no matter the weather, rain or through storm, through rain or through shine, but callousing the mind is what he's managed to do, even as a weakling, even as a scrawny little guy.
Yeah, and like, that's what gets him through. Like, that's why he kind of like, he has that embodiment of the spirit of like not being easily defeated, you know, and kind of rising to the challenge, like kind of having this fun Sparring with any challenge that comes his way, even if it's him getting repeatedly punched in the face, like he can smile about it and be like, I'll do this all day. It's like,
That's all you got, pal.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna back down. It's like, give me all you got. It's that kind of inviting energy that really continues to just strengthen him as, as he goes. And then I guess the last thing I have is, I thought it was funny that he's still like shy. So the character that he, like who he is doesn't change when he goes into the chamber or into the pod, which is what the doctor said. He said that it would amplify, but he didn't say that it would change, right? Like that it would create the opposite effect, right?
Yeah,
And
like
so,
there's no like personality being injected into his veins.
right. And so he now has this new exterior, but inside he's still like overwhelmed by all of the tension at first. And then when he's interacting with that girl, you can tell that he's still the shy guy who's never had a conversation with a girl before. And so that's why when she just like pulls him in, he's like completely caught off guard. It's not like he was playing into like any arrogance or taking advantage of it or feeling this kind of high confidence or hubris or whatever. So I think that was also interesting, is that he's still very much himself.
Yes, because we saw that Thor has the hubris.
Yeah.
Thor represents the hero who is so preoccupied with himself that he flies too close to the sun, and it's the story of Icarus, and then he gets his wings burnt, and then he falls to earth. And then here we see that in spite of him becoming whatever he becomes, like he proves that his virtue and his honor is real.
Yeah.
That it's not all talk because he's scrawny. But even if you gave him a Bugatti, a Mercedes of like a vehicle, of like a meat vehicle, it doesn't really matter to him.
Yeah.
It's like it's still focus on the mission. It's like still focus on the bad guy, still focus on whatever. He doesn't become that and then basically just keep staring at himself in the mirror. It's like, this is me now.
Yeah, and you can already assume that from the jump, because he was rejected 5 times, and it's not like it made him go home and start hitting the gym or anything. It just made him keep on trying exactly as who he is.
Which could have helped if he just hit the gym a little bit.
but
hey,
but
like
then
eat a sandwich, kid.
That's the whole point, is that he didn't bend to the norms, right? And neither did the doctor, because everyone was trying to influence Dr. Erskine to use a soldier for the experiment, like one of the soldiers who's physically capable and who excels completely in all of their tests and stuff. But the doctor refused, because for him it wasn't about any of the standard expectations or the societal standards, and it was more about the character, obviously. And so that, like, it's just, it's just interesting. And then that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else.
That's it? You touch on everything?
Yeah, and then I just wanted to point out, like, Howard Stark, like, we're obviously seeing him in his younger age, like in his younger years, and he's completely focused on work, which he tells Steve, like, he tells him fondue is cheese and melting pot or whatever, and which is funny because you were mentioning the melting pot.
And that he focuses on his work.
Yeah, he's completely focused on his work, so I don't even think he's in any relationship at this point, and so there still is no prospect of Tony Stark at this point. Like, he's not a father to be, he's not in a married relationship, like, he's completely immersed in his work.
What if Carter is Tony Stark's mother? Does that make sense?
It could make sense, like, if they would have ended up together, yeah. That's another thing, is, like, the last thing I want to address is the 70 years. It's like, now it's 70 years from his time. He's completely waking up in this new New World, the surroundings, which is Times Square, bustling city, complete opposite of what he's used to, which is this, again, slower movement, slow dancing, theater, like very just relaxed,
Old-timey,
old-timey way of life. And then that's why the action scenes felt so faster paced, because it's kind of like out of the ordinary too,
in comparison to to the flow of life.
But then when he awakens after 70 years have passed, he's in literally the heart of movement, which is Times Square. It's like it's movement, it's marketing ads everywhere, it's bombarding, it's confusion everywhere.
It's the heart of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, and I wonder what happens now, like 70 years, like does he get to go back in time? That'd be cool. Like what
is
happens?
there time traveling in this? Like that would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to watch the next one, the next movie. I'm excited to finally reach the Avengers, kind of like all of them coming together.
Yes.
And then I want to see like how do they interact? And what are they facing? Right? Like, what are they avenging? Just like you said, like, avenging what?
Yeah, what's avenging?
Or avenging from what? Or like, what's the thing here? But like, this is a very, very real kind of, like, movie. I was not expecting it to kind of show us all of these, like, real, grounded applications of what Captain America represents. Because, literally, like, I think I have an old history book from Brazil from like 9th grade or something, 8th grade, a fat history book. I can probably skim through it and find the North America part, like North American history, and probably find like a little print of like Captain America comics because it was in the textbooks.
Wow.
That's how significant this character is.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense for America specifically because of patriotism, because of war, because of military and stuff, and that's
And then in psychology, Superman, which we're gonna dive into DC, but Superman is literally depicted as like the Ubermensch, which is what like Nietzsche would talk about. It's like it's the idea of like there's so many deep things that we're gonna cover on this show.
Oh, the last thing I wanted to say was that this was fun. Like, this is like a fun fact. My dad isn't like blatantly German, but he was born in Germany because it's so close to Portugal, where his parents are from. But he was born in Cuxhaven, Germany, and I actually visited it before. And I actually visited a concentration camp before.
What?
And you're not allowed into the concentration camp because there might be like explosives or whatever that might be set off, for like it was weird, like some weird
active landmines.
I don't know, there could be, but it's literally closed off, like I saw. And then
holy shit.
Yeah, and then what I said, like it's funny because their national anthem is Deutschland, Deutschland über alles, which means
Ubermensch.
which means like above all. So that's it's Germany, Germany above all.
Very humble people.
And then it's funny in the song they're like German woman, and then the guy said that the German women weren't pretty, but in the song they praise their women. They say that they're proud of their women, they're proud of their food, they're proud of their wine, and that's their song. And and it's cool stuff.
There are multiple tales and conspiracies and theories that like if Hitler hadn't been rejected by his childhood love interest, then World War II would have never happened. And then there's another school of thought where he was an artist, and if his art had been appreciated, then World War II would never have happened. And then a third one, that he only had one testicle.
Okay, and then World War II wouldn't have happened if he had two.
Yeah, because he was overcompensating. And he was unbalanced.
Oh my gosh.
So there are like multiple,
That's
but these are only three. So who knows? But you have anything else to say?
That's it.
All right, so we're going to just end it then here. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I think in terms of like hand-to-hand combat, it reminds me a lot about the Dark Knight trilogy with the hand-to-hand combat, with the League of Shadows training, with the up and personal. I think it's the most up and personal Marvel one that doesn't really involve like superpowers or high-tech gadgets or monster transformations,
Mm-hmm.
All right, so with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, if you like what we do here on the channel, let us know by leaving a like, by turning on the notification bell, by sharing this with a friend, and also comment below what your favorite part of the movie was, and comment below a magic word, which will be... I'm trying to think. Magic word. What's a magic word?
What's like
dance? Comment if you made it to the deep end. Let us know by commenting. Dance with me.
Dance with me.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's nice.
I don't know. I have like a quarter
Dance with
of
me.
a brain
That's
right
nice.
now.
Perfect.
All right. So comment below. Dance with me, and that way we will know that you stuck it through the whole way, and you were there with us having this conversation and just trying to understand everything that's going on with half a brain. But yeah, so thank you so much. And with that being said, don't forget that it's never wrong
to be mentally gone.
Peace to the world. And I can't wait to sleep. Good night, people. Bye-bye.